Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. This is the John Mayer version, by the way. Happy birthday, Stephen Eckert.
Isn't the Marilyn Monroe version?
No. Happy birthday to you. So I think
beautiful.
A year ago I was an asshole to you.
Were you?
Oh, I bought you a lens and you already had it.
Oh, yeah.
That was a year ago.
That was a year ago, man. It's been, I think, about a year and a half since I've been on board with this whole Chronos photo thing.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, man. It's been that long, maybe even longer than that.
I wanted to get you a cake or some cupcakes, but then I don't want to eat the sugar, so I don't want to get it to you.
You wouldn't eat it.
So I got you something.
You did.
I just took it out of the refrigerator. It's doghead fish bone beer.
Dogfish Head 60-minute IPA.
You can put it on the floor if you're not going to drink it now. Or drink
I'm going to drink it now, actually.
Do you need a can opener?
I do.
All right.
No, I
have
don't.
one.
I got one.
You got one? All right, so
I'll take the mountain.
I'm gonna introduce it. Don't throw it, because if you cut my table, I will totally beat the crap out of you on your birthday.
That's the first bottle opened with the mountain.
Whatever the mountain is, dude. I'm surprised you haven't stabbed yourself with the mountain. The mountain is in Eckert's pocket. In Sutter's pocket is this freaking triangle thing of a. It's an all-utility vehicle. Anyway, let me get started. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. Welcome to RAWtalk, episode number 96. 96. We're calling this, as of tentatively, the Hobbyists have spoken. The reason I'm saying that is because I put out a flying solo question that I wanted to be a little different. We know, or based off of the survey, know that a lot of people are hobbyist photographers. They may not be pros or ever want to consider themselves a professional, but I'm starting to see a pattern with all of the hobbyists and questions about being a pro, but there's a ton of questions. We got more questions than I've ever seen for a flying solo, which means this may go really long. So bear with me when we get to the flying solo area, but we have a lot of questions to answer.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to try to preface it with I'm not trying to be a dick, but
One of those episodes?
I'll leave it with that when we get to that point of it. So anyway, happy birthday, Stephen.
Thank you, and I appreciate the beverage.
You're welcome. You're welcome for the
At
bird.
12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's what time it is. But hey, you would have one
It's
with
5
lunch.
o'clock somewhere, right?
Yeah, I don't believe that. If you want to drink a beer, drink a beer. We are creeping towards 100.
We are.
What do you guys suggest we do for the 100th episode? What would be interesting for you? And hashtag 100th, Fro knows 100th episode. That's way too long. Just go at Fro knows photo, hashtag 100th. And I want to hear ideas. Should we be live? Should we go on location? Should I have people over here to watch? Should I go somewhere else? Who knows? We may be in San Francisco at this point. We don't know. And speaking of San Francisco, I'm going to say it right now. What?
Actually, I think it is going to be either that episode or the one after that we're going to be in San Francisco. Yeah, really close.
So Stephen and I are coming out to San Francisco. I have to go to a party that I can't tell you where it's at.
It'll be fun.
Not allowed to tell anybody where it's at.
Really? You can't?
No.
Oh.
It's a secret.
Are you going to tell when you come back?
No,
or
I don't think we're supposed to even tell anybody where we are because it's that type of person.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you don't want it. They don't want it publicized.
Interesting.
So
cool.
So we're not publicizing it, but it's cool. Mm-hmm. It's cool. It's a good 1 degree to be away from people.
Yes, very.
Anyway, being that we're going to San Francisco, I decided why not do something interesting. Well, so I'm bringing Stephen because I'd like to do a RAWtalk out there. It's most likely going to be Friday, August 15th at night. Unless I get a corporate sponsor who's going to pay for everything, which I've reached out to a couple of people to see if they will pay for it, where we would do it in their office, maybe on Saturday morning. But I'm going to pretty much say it's going to be within a half an hour of San Francisco, August 15th, which is Friday. So for now, email me, Jared at FroKnowsPhoto.com with the subject line, Raw San Fran, and just say how many people you would like to come with, and I will notify you when we figure out where it's going to be with all that information. And if you do the sign up through the podcast here and you send those emails to me, you're probably going to have a better chance of being selected if we run out of space because we would run out of space once this goes public on the Facebook and everything like that. So it's gonna be a flying, not a flying, so it's gonna be a Fro Knows Photo RAWtalk mobile.
So we're doing it that day we fly in, pretty much, right?
Basically at night, yeah.
Cool.
Hopefully. And there's a couple of places. There's a photo store that has said we could do it there because I reached out. I asked. I said, where should we do it at? And somebody was like, oh, I'm a manager at a photo store. And it looks like a good place we could do it. And I wouldn't mind going to a local mom and pop photo store and doing them there because that's pretty cool.
Hey, man, worst comes to worst, we do it in like the freaking hotel room or something.
Yeah, but
if
I
we
want
have nowhere else to go.
Oh, and just invite people to the
Just
room?
invite people over. Who cares?
That's
Oh,
actually
all right.
kind of
little
cool.
party.
I guess I haven't picked a hotel. I have to kind of book a hotel.
You have to book a giant suite.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah, we'd squeeze people. All right, worst comes to worst. Anyway, email in. We'll let you know the story, how many people you'd like to come, you plus how many, within reason. And
Me
and
plus
we'll,
300 people.
Yes, and we'll go from there. All right, so before we jump into photo news, I want to talk about something interesting. It's kind of like Gear of the Week, but it's not. It's people always ask about business cards. What business card should I get? How do I have them? Should I do them? Blah, 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 blah. What's this place called?
Plastic printers.
Just wanted to make sure I got it right. How does that spelled?
P-
Plastic printers. Don't spell it. Anyway, I will be...
Is that the Homestar Runner version of plastic printers?
No, that's front step, stairs step, porch step.
Okay.
If for anybody that missed the emo discussion conversation last week, we sang some emo songs. Anyway, let me tell you about what happened here. Plastic Printer reached out to me. Turns out that Sam Green, whose girlfriend's name is Sam Price,
money everywhere.
he used plastic printers, and I didn't know. They reached out to me and they said, would you like to get some interesting cards made? And they were looking for some kind of promotion, which is perfectly fine. That's how this whole thing works. And I was like, yeah, I want a certain card, and I want it to look like this. And if anybody's not watching at home, it's a see the world. Basically, I wanted to see the world business card, and it's the size of a credit card. And it looks like a viewfinder from a Nikon F5. It has 11 focusing points. It also has the plus minus on the right-hand side done in green. It's got the Fronos Photo logo. It says I Shoot Raw, and it says fronosphoto.com on the bottom. So you hold it up, and you can see the world.
Literally looks like you're looking through a viewfinder.
Yeah, it looks like you're looking
See
through
all
a
the focus
viewfinder.
points. A giant viewfinder.
The people always want to know about business cards and making an impression. You do need to make an impression today. This is one way to do it. I'm not a big fan of those free cards, like we've said, and these are a little more expensive, so you have to be willing to spend maybe 75 cents on a card, but know that when you give it to somebody, that they're more apt to keep it than not. So basically, the deal that I said for these plasticprinters.com people is, I will promote it if you send people a free card and send them something else that I wanted, which is a luggage tag. A bag tag.
And we had that actually at the Seattle RAWtalk.
We did, and we gave some of these away. So this is a bag tag, and this is just, how many times have you seen a black bag come out of the turnstile at the airport and you don't know which one is yours? Well, I learned this from being on tour with bands. Everybody had a bag tag with a number on the back. This is Fronos Photo on one side, I Shoot Raw on the other. So I said, if you will give these away to people, then I'll do it. So they printed them up. And they're going to give away one of each to the first 1,000 people that go to the website.
That's awesome.
And it's well, why am I going to read the HTTP? Holy shit, Jared.
//
info.plasticprinters.com/fro. That's info.plasticprinters.com/fro. So that link's also up on the website at fronosphoto.com/rawtalk-96. It's really easy to remember. They're asking you for your mailing address, and it's U.S. only. Sorry for everybody around the world. It's just that they're shipping to the U.S. because they only do business in the U.S. They will send you these two free. They're also probably going to send you some marketing material about making business cards and what the services they have are, but they're not going to try to hard sell you. They're just going to say, hey, here's the quality that we do. And they're sending you something that you can use. That is the only reason I am doing this. I've seen Gary Vee do this with stickers.
Oh, yeah?
Where a company has printed out his quotes on the stickers and sent them for free to everybody because they know that, if I need stickers printed, I'm going to check them out. This is how you do it.
You should do your bobblehead quotes on stickers or something.
Really?
Yeah, why not? That would be fun.
Maybe I'll find another company.
Or maybe
but anyway,
just throw them in the bag, or I don't know.
This see the world thing is actually useful. I always tell people you look through it, you see the world, and it does get a little scratched up, but you get the point.
Yeah,
you look
it's
through
expected.
it, you do this, boom, it's awesome. The bag tag is definitely useful, especially with the I Shoot Raw. You put it on your card. Anyway, I've talked enough about it. But I just wanted to be straight up transparent with everybody. They came to me. I said, this is what I would like. I want you to give stuff away. And it's actually a useful thing. So they're not going to spam you. they've already promised me that, and if they spam you, then obviously I will rip them a new one. But honestly, it's a useful thing for photographers. They may have something that is less expensive that you can use that's going to be pretty good. Have you seen these, Sutter?
And they literally make like everything out of plastic almost, right? Anything you want for the most part.
Well, I'll tell you something else they do.
What they do?
They make scratch-off tickets.
Really?
That's awesome.
So
you would love a Frono's Photo scratch-off ticket.
Wheel of Fro
Your own
scratch-off
lottery.
tickets coming soon.
That would be
for
cool.
the holidays. Instead of the Golden Fro
holidays.
picks or along with the Golden Fro picks, I'm talking about scratch-off lottery tickets.
So it'll basically be you get a prize if you scratch off something.
No, you scratch off the whole thing, and it's either going to say you're a loser or you're a winner.
It's kind of like a
isn't that
mobile
cool?
Wheel of Fro for the most part that you're personally doing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but some will be losers and some will be winners.
99.9% will be losers.
But remember, I had 40 prizes last year.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, that's it. Yes.
These are actually pretty useful too. Like if you don't want to like grab the whole camera out of the bag and you just want to try to see what your shot is, like
director's
it's actually
eye.
kind of useful.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
What? Like if you don't
Pull
know
out the freaking camera out of your bag. Stop being a lazy ass.
From the guy who went on the Space Needle and had all this gear with him and didn't pull out his camera.
On the Space Needle, Jared has four pro cameras in a bag.
And here's my iPhone.
And all the glass. And Steven's like, you going to take that out? I'm like, no. I'm just going to roll it with me and take a picture with the iPhone. Anyway, that was it. Plastic print. Go to info.plasticprinters.com. My face is on there. Put your stuff in there. If you want to get this stuff free, that's the point. They're going to send it to you free, and that's called business.
Business.
That's how you do business.
Business.
All right. We'll do that gear of the week later. Go ahead.
Photo news part?
Yeah, because then I got a quote that I want to talk about.
Okay. So a new short film shot entirely on the new Nikon D810 called Every Moment Counts is now online. Is done by Cinescapes Collective. The production company was contacted by MPS Canada to showcase the new Nikon body.
It's pretty obvious that they're Canadian when you watch this.
Oh, dude,
It's like, oh,
totally.
you know, we're going to talk about flappy heads and floppy shoes, you clown shoes. Oh, you clown shoe wearer guy.
So they used pretty much everything from an octocopter to a Movi to a pocket jib to even a Kessler Cinedrive, everything to make the perfect cinematic film. They have a whole behind-the-scenes video explaining the whole process of the shoot, from their use of the new flat picture style in the body, to backing up the footage to shooting the clean HDMI out. And there's even a comparison video showcasing their before and after color grading process
That's
as
cool.
well. Yeah, and the color grading doesn't look too intense. I mean, a lot of it looked like it was straight out from the camera with that flat color picture style. Obviously something you wouldn't like because you love your contrast.
Well, but as we go forward, if that is the way to do it, and you do a flat picture style because it makes your videos that much better.
Well, and more dynamic range is the main reason
If
behind
it does that and we have the time to do the editing, then by all means do it.
Well, for example, like when we do the photo news, I shoot that on the Canon 5D, and I know I have a little more time with that.
Mark III.
The Mark III. So I shoot that flat, and then in post, I add the sharpening and all the contrast and all that kind of stuff, and I get a lot more time to play with it, and
Sure.
it looks better, in my opinion, doing it that way.
It's a good video, but when I started watching it, it's just the fakeness of the production.
Do you mean the behind the scenes?
The behind the scenes fake
Okay.
things, like the guy. It's the typical. Let's do a reality TV show
MTV
about
Cribs.
Well, no, it's not Cribs. It's any show that's on TV, from American Chopper to Cake Boss, which I've
Freaking
never watched,
Pawn
to
Stars.
Pawn Stars, to Tanked, and then Fish Tank Kings, which they're actually, I like what they make, but it's always this. It's like,
It's a production.
Wait, hold on. Wait, there's the camera, so I want to look off this way. Okay.
Pretend you're thinking of something.
Hold on. This is the biggest opportunity that we've ever had as a business. And if we fail, or if one piece doesn't come together in time, our ass is grass. I mean, and so
That is
then
exactly what they
So then
do.
what happens? I do this with Todd all the time. It's like I'll call him up because I'm watching something, and I'd be like, I'm watching TV, and when I'm sitting there with TV with my dad, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, we're gonna need you to do that again, but do it a little more up. So it's just like, yeah, I think that if we don't get this job done, we're gonna be in the hole. We're gonna be terrible. Okay, that was good. I like what you were saying.
That was too realistic.
Dude, but
do it for the camera.
You need to just make it more realistic and like, no, not realistic. Just up
More reality TV.
Yeah, here we go. Okay. Yeah, if we don't get this job done in time, then my ass is totally grass, and my dad isn't going to hire me ever again.
Make sure you over-pronunciate while you're doing it, too.
It's just so fake.
Fake.
Please punch me if I ever do that. Please, because
I mean,
everybody.
unless it's like the parody video like we did for like the Apple, obviously,
Right.
that kind of thing, for the bobblehead, I mean.
Well, I have people that want me to do a reality show. But every reality
do a
show
parody one.
is scripted. We should do a parody one.
Yeah.
We need to stop giving our
we-
secrets away.
I know, right? Maybe like a real world Jared Loft style.
Yeah. Get out of my room!
Me, Sutter, Sam.
Oh,
Green.
yeah. So it's
Todd.
And then there's the confessional.
The confessional.
That motherfucking asshole is a piece of... He never shuts up. All he does is there's hair all over the place. And then I get into the shower and the shower's clogged. It's just, this guy is like a gorilla with his hair.
All I eat every day is chicken and eggs. I can't take it in this loft anymore.
There's carrots. I mean, look at this refrigerator. All there is beer and
apple
vegetables.
juice. So much apple juice.
There's no apple juice.
Not anymore.
There has not been apple juice for 3 months, and that's why my abs have shown up. All right, back to photo news because you're making this a long show on your birthday.
Clearly making it a long show. Lomography released a new type of film called Cine 200 tungsten film. The rolls are just rewounded, pre-treated Kodak cinema film, basically. But their main pitch is that it can be developed through the standard C41 process, so you can pretty much go to almost any store that's still developing these days, which is rare.
How about
and
this?
Get it processed.
We need to do the photo store. Like, I should do Alan's camera and have...
They're probably one of the only ones doing it
No,
still.
no, I'm not talking about doing film there. I'm thinking parody show again. It's like you go in and you have a terrible client, a terrible customer that comes in and you're like, get out.
Just do a whole joke on the whole thing.
Yeah, just be like, oh, you need a good camera? Here, use this.
And it's like the worst camera ever.
Basically.
So the film is limited to only 4,000 rolls, with each going for about $10 each. So it's pretty pricey.
How
but
much each?
$10 each.
Wait, how many each?
What?
You said each twice.
Did I?
In 5 words, so I'd say I just...
Hey, you do it every now and then, too.
I do. I'm not making fun of you. Wait. It's tough working with Stephen sometimes when he's doing the photo news. He's really good at what he does, but sometimes it just really gets on my last nerve.
Is that when I punch you?
Who? Why would you punch me?
You said punch me if I ever do that seriously again.
I wasn't serious. And can you please raise the mic so that you talk into the actual part of it? Because you're always talking over it instead of right into it.
It feels weird when it's over like your lip, but in reality, when looking at it, it's perfect with the mouth.
Okay, sorry.
Moving forward, a new free Aperture to Lightroom library migration tool is now available to the public. It's created by software developer Adrian Gra. The release is called Aperture Exporter.
What's it cost?
It's free. I just said that.
I know.
It's currently in its 3rd beta, though. Again, free download, and it simplifies the process with very few options to migrate your library. So basically, it's just a few clicks, and it does the trick. You
Awesome.
migrate your entire library over to Lightroom.
Wouldn't be surprised if Adobe says, hey,
So for those 2
You want a
people
job?
that used Lightroom, this is for you.
you mean Aperture.
Or Aperture, yeah.
Try that again.
those
This time,
two
wait,
people-
hold on. When you do this time
Little
say
more
it
up.
with more sincereness, like more sarcasm.
So for those 2 people that use Aperture, this one's for you. That was terrible.
It was terrible. You're fired from reality TV.
A group of Boy Scouts.
Your fake reality is terrible.
Central Iowa Boy Scout Troop number 111, to be specific, had the scare of their life after simply taking a picture of a Border Patrol officer recently. So after attempting to cross into Alaska from Canada, one of the scouts snapped a photo of the agent. The agent basically freaked out. And
Wait. They were trying to cross the border into Canada.
No, into Alaska from Canada.
Oh, but that...
But what?
Oh, well, when you think of the contiguous, the lower 48,
Yes.
contiguous
However you say it.
states, you think you go up into Canada, not down into Canada from Alaska.
Well, yeah, that's the weird part. But again, Alaska from Canada. So when the agent, again, he freaked out, threatened the boy with 10 years in prison.
Was this an American agent or a
I don't know. It didn't,
Canadian
it didn't
agent?
specify that, but
I'm going to say it's
assuming
American. Because the Canadian guy would have been like, oh, hey, kids, would you like to take a picture with me? I got a moose and a mountie over there. We're nice here in Canada.
Canada.
Oh, it's so stereotypical. It's
I'm not being all stereotypical, but our organization is made up of the best people in the world. We're not angry like those border patrols on the American side. What are you talking about, angry? If you take my picture, I'm going to put you in jail for 10 years. Shut up, Canadian guy. Okay, pal. You're not my buddy.
The national mascots are Terrence and Phillip. So 10 years in prison or a $10,000 fine, and they even confiscated the actual kid's camera too. He then went on to search the entire van and all of their belongings while removing a bag from the roof. One of the scouts then had a gun pulled on him right at his head. And
How
apparently
old
it
was this
cocked
scout?
and loaded too. What?
It was cocked and loaded?
Cocked and loaded.
Number one with a bullet?
Number one with a bullet, full Out Boy style.
Do we have more information on this story yet?
Not much. I mean, in the end, after a few hours of searching and questioning, no one was hurt or charged.
Were there any anal exams?
Any anal exams?
It is the Boy Scouts. Wah, wah, wah.
Now, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection said that the picture was taken at a port of entry where photographs are strictly prohibited. I don't know if I'm assuming there's signage. I don't know. I still think it was taken a little too far. I mean, it's the freaking Boy Scouts. Pull a gun on them. The kid's probably like 13.
It's just bullshit.
And you wanted to
yeah,
talk
I know
about
what
something
so
too.
there's also a note. And if you go into the post office, the USPS,
Mm-hmm.
United States Postal Service, says no photos are allowed in there in the post office.
I didn't know that.
Because they say this is a federal institution. And it pisses me off beyond belief because nonstop you hear that we're not part of the government. But we're overseen by the government, and we then follow governmental rules, and you can't take a photo in the post. The woman behind the counter said this to me one day. There's no photos here. I wasn't trying to take a photo. I may have said something, or maybe I would have tried, and like, what are you going to do, arrest me for taking a photo in here? Give me a freaking break, people.
Don't they take passport photos at?
Yeah, but that's
USPS place?
And what are they going to do if you're wearing Google Glass? What if you're a glass hole and you come in there?
A glass hole.
I mean,
That's a good one.
Well, I didn't make it up.
Oh, who made that up?
Came from the internet.
That's a good one, yeah. The interwebs.
Yeah.
Move forward. Because this is
Okay.
going to be a long
All right, go.
episode, so we got to keep going through this.
I'm having fun, I
We got to
think.
truck through the news. So there's a new fascinating mini documentary on the day in the life of a blind and deaf photographer named Brendan Barlini.
Like Anne Frank.
Like Anne Frank or Helen Keller. Clearly. He's the first deaf.
Let me preface that with, I'm not being a dick. It's a scene, it's a line from Clerks 2.
So you have to understand that not everyone's seen Clerks.
That's why I'm saying it. I think it's from Clerks 2. I believe it's from Clerks 2. It's a scene from the movie, but it's
funny
not
part
very
is that
funny.
he said Anne Frank and
but
not
everybody
Helen Keller.
understands what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm not being insensitive, all right? I'm not Justin Bieber going to Anne Frank's house and saying that she would have been a believer.
Oh, God. So he's the first deaf and blind student to graduate from the special education unit at the Cavendish Road State School and head on to college from there. It wasn't until he met Steve Mayer Miller, the artistic director.
Oh, my God. What if John Mayer and Steve Miller had a kid? It'd be called Miller Steve. And we're, woo-hoo.
The artistic director. He's the artistic director of Crossroad Arts, and he got him into photography. He first picked up a camera as a joke, obviously because he's blind, and then began to actually try it out and liked it. As most photographers, we use our eyes to frame the image. Well, in Brendan's case, he uses the sense of touch to feel his image before taking the shot. So it's a very fascinating look into how easy we all have it made compared to Brendan. What are you going to say? Because you're smiling over there. You're smirking.
First off, it's unbelievable that in this day and age, you know, you're blind and deaf, and if you go back 100 or if you go back 50 or so years, people would have thought that you were just dumb.
Well, he was also born partially blind, but now he's fully blind.
Okay.
So at least he knows of the world and what it
Right.
looks like.
It's a true testament to education and the patience that people must have to help this kid out, because that has got to be one of the worst things ever, to be blind and deaf. But it's just fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting the serious stuff out of there before I tell you that he loves taking nude photos of women.
Oh, God, because he could touch them. Oh, man.
But no, in all reality, I'm 100,000,000% sincere about it.
Mm-hmm.
It is unbelievable that being deaf and blind, that he's capable of creating this stuff, and that there are teachers and people that encourage it and help the process, and that they're able to come out and make this happen.
And he was actually narrating the story, I guess, because he was typing on his keyboard and
the keyboard
writing
was-
down the script, I guess, for the narrator to read. So he's very communicative when it comes to just typing down
And it's
all his messages.
kind of a
And
good-
he is older now, too. I think he graduated a while ago. Now it looks like he's in his 30s or 40s.
It's pretty amazing though with the technology that now you can communicate.
Oh, yeah. He's got like a half brow keyboard. And
they must communicate with him with Braille so he can understand it, which is unbelievable. Because you think back to Helen Keller.
Crazy.
They didn't have anything.
No.
Nothing.
And she was born, though, right, deaf and blind. At least he was, again, partially blind. So that's got to be even worse, though, because you get a taste of the world, and then you get it stripped away from you. There's a new crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo that combines photography and pepper spray. I didn't see this coming. The campaign is promoting a self-defense pepper spray called the Defender, which captures a photo while you go to spray the perpetrator. So working with both iOS and Android, it actually is smartphone enabled and connects via Bluetooth, which once sprayed will upload the photo to their monitoring service and tag your GPS location, then sending out to the local authorities. You can even specify if you want to get either medical or emergency personnel sent to you. It's already
because I'm getting attacked. But hold on. Let me type in what I need.
I need medical first.
I need a donut.
No, I think you can do it prior to setting it up, like in the app.
Oh, I think I'm going to get attacked today and get stabbed, so I may need an EMT.
Now it's already reached its goal, which is $100,000. I think it's at like $109 now, and it's going for $159 for early adopters. And it says it's going to sell for nearly double that when it hits stores. So we'll see.
My only question about
I think this will be big, personally.
is when you're spraying it, will that interfere with the photo of the person?
You're going to get a picture like this. Every time.
Not even that, but are you going to see the mist?
I don't know.
Is it on a timer delay?
Is it a pre?
Is it going to take a video clip, which it should take a video clip instead of a still?
It should do both. I mean, if who knows? I don't know.
I'm not spending $200 for a pepper spray camera.
Well, how much is normal pepper spray?
Probably not that
pretty
much.
cheap.
Yeah.
And it's probably not legal in most places.
Pepper spray?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'll be big though. Who knows? But yeah, photography and pepper spray now combined. So Motley Crue's photo release form says a concert photographer can't even license their own photograph without the band's consent. It's called the Red, White, and Crew Incorporated licensing agreement. So clauses 1A and B are the lines in question. In 1A, Red, White, and Crew Incorporated is given non-exclusive rights to, quote, exploit materials in all manner of media now known or hereafter devised, including without limitation the use for commercial or promotional purposes in phonograph, record albums, merchandise, motion pictures, television, via internet, multimedia, and website via mobile phones, video cassettes, DVDs, all audiovisual rights, publishing rights in all forms, and publication rights for publicity or advertising purposes, end quote, pretty much anything you can't license it for. Then the agreement goes on in the 1B to state, in quotes, licensor agrees that it shall not license any of the materials or shall not exploit any of the materials without the written consent of the licensee, Motley Crue, which shall be withheld in licensee's sole discretion, end quote. Bunch of fancy terms as usual, legal crap. The unnamed photographer who revealed the form online says, in quotes, under these terms, I would not be able to license my images, and I'm signing away the right for Red, White, and Crew Incorporated to exploit my images without limitation for commercial or any purpose at all, end quote. Basically, he's saying he can't get paid for any of this. It's ridiculous.
Okay, I'm going to answer this in a second.
You got to sing a song first.
But give me some famous tracks.
Home Sweet Home.
That was what we did last week or 2 weeks
and
ago.
your impersonation was terrible, so I didn't.
Kickstart My Heart.
No.
Girls, Girls, Girls. These are
Girls.
See, I know that one.
Next.
Dr. Feelgood.
Dr. Feelgood!
Wild Side.
No.
Don't Go Away Mad.
No.
You don't know that one?
No.
Shout Out the Devil.
All right, I've had enough of Motley Crue. Here's my take on this. If you don't like the form, don't sign the freaking form. Motley Crue is so over at this point, it doesn't freaking matter. Vince Neil looks like a dog slapped him in the face because of all the surgery that he's had. Mick Mars looks like he's dead. He had medical issues, and it's nice that they were able to get him back, but come on. Tommy Lee, it doesn't matter. Don't sign.
He does drum for a lot of bands.
He does.
That. So he's a big studio musician.
But don't sign, so why do you even need to go shoot Motley Crue in the first place? It's 25 years past their prime. Don't even go shoot Motley Crue. Know that these big bands, and when they ask you to sign something over, that's your choice. Don't complain about it. Yes, it's a stupid form, but don't complain about it because if you're either going to sign it or you're not going to sign it. If everybody together didn't sign it, then they wouldn't have photos. And you don't have to send them the photos. Sure, it says that they're going to have the rights to them. Are they ever going to ask you for them? No. Are they going to look good? No. Because it's Motley Crue.
I always think of Motley Lou from Hot Tub Time Machine.
That's how I explained it to you last time.
Did you?
Lugal.
I wasn't paying attention, I guess. It was the beginning of RAWtalk. I wasn't up yet.
You didn't have your dogfish.
I didn't have
head
my
beer.
dogfish beverage, which kickstarts my brain.
How we doing over there?
We're good.
But yeah, Motley Lou.
But you
Good
agree
stuff.
or you don't agree?
I do agree on that. I think I would still want to shoot them, but at the same time, I wouldn't sign something like this, or I would just sign something that's not my name. Maybe.
Right. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
In my opinion.
Or scribble it to the point where they can't even read it.
That's how you do it.
Every time. Put down a fake publication. I'm not saying you should do this, but you should.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we have MIT is offering a documentary photography and photo...
MIT KEYMOUSE Mitty Mouse. Mitty Mouse. That's the way we became the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch.
Medley.
Well, this is the polka rendition with Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, you gotta have them.
I got to try to get him on, but go ahead.
Dude, I guarantee he would do it. I was telling you before, we actually interviewed him on my college radio station, which, I mean, college radio doesn't have much play these days. Even then, didn't. So for us to get him on there, we can definitely get him on here. So again, they're offering that free course.
Oh, by the way, I think I would leave my hair down for that one to match his hair.
To match his. That would be pretty epic.
Yeah.
So
Tremendous.
Originally taught in the spring of 2009, the course called Documentary Photography and Photojournalism, Still Images of a World in Motion, comes complete with the syllabus, readings, assignments, image galleries, and even course material downloads. Again, the entire thing is online. Basically, you're the teacher and student in this situation, so only for those that don't have trouble obviously self-motivating themselves, they should take this. If you're one that really can't do that by yourself and you need a teacher, then Frono's Photo is the course for that. An artist named Flora Borsi really loves her coffee so much that she made a new photo series called Coffee Universe. The new series features coffee-like tinted photographs with the sky recreated as actual coffee swirls, like creamer swirls. She says, "Have you ever noticed how beautiful coffee can be? I was wondering about the basic rules of nature, our common sight of the world. I've created something that is different than what you've seen so far. This is my coffee universe," end quote. Very cool stuff. Interesting to see. I'm a coffee fanatic, so I like to check them out. So if you need to print your own selfie, you can now do it on a slice of bread in the Selfie Toaster by Vermont Novelty Toaster Corporation. You supply an image of yourself to the company, who then sends you a custom-made toaster that will literally burn your face into the toast every morning. You can have Frono's toast.
I'm doing it. I don't care. That's awesome.
Now, it looks like you can do any type of photograph. They specifically say selfies, but their main... I mean, it looks like you can just supply them with anything.
A logo.
Yeah, a logo. That would be great.
I shoot raw toast.
There you go, for big parties. You can get the toaster for $75 if you're interested.
Which isn't bad.
Which really isn't bad. I mean, people were complaining about that price, but I think that's actually fairly reasonable.
Shut up, people!
I wonder how many they actually
Look,
sold.
for $75, it's a novelty. Do you know how many, like, if you had it at a wedding, right, and you just put toast in there. I don't eat toast.
You put a little heart for the wedding
I don't
or
eat
something.
toast, all right? I don't have any bread in the house. What's up,
You're
Sutter?
not big on carbs, I know.
I'm not big on carbs, so I don't eat bread in the house at all. So I'm not really going to use the toaster, but I think it's freaking funny. Because you could probably put something else in the toaster and burn it. It'd be awesome.
One last story, actually, on Photo News this week. We have photography couple Katie and Kyle did something unique for their wedding invitations.
Hi, I'm Katie. And I'm Kyle.
They made them out of empty 35mm film canisters.
Where they found those, I don't know.
Dude, when I worked in the photo lab, I would have people coming in almost every other week, mainly for school projects, to collect the empty film canisters that we recycled to Kodak.
The empty film canisters or the plastic?
Both. We kept both. We didn't need the actual cassette. Not the cassette. The container, I guess. But the canisters itself, we needed to recycle. The containers I kept just in case I need to return a roll of film to somebody.
Do you know? So I loved the smell of my Fuji containers.
Yeah.
They had a distinct smell over the Kodak.
Oh, did they?
But do you know that? Had you?
What?
How many druggies? How many weed smokers came in asking for those?
Yeah,
do you
have anything that looks like a vial? Because I need to put my weed in something.
I think my brother used to swipe my Fuji 800 canisters, the empty ones. And put weed in there.
Now it was mainly teachers actually that would come in for like projects they would do.
Speaking of weed.
It's clearly weed projects.
Most teachers.
That lived in Colorado now. But yeah, they would come in just asking for them all the time. So you can easily get them. I mean, nowadays, I don't know if besides maybe going to like Allen's Camera or like a Ritz or something, there's not going to be many places. You know, your Targets, your CVS's, Walgreens.
Yeah.
They're not really processing. They're not doing the wet process anymore. So.
Yep.
So they printed 10-inch strips of paper with all the information about the wedding and rolled them into each canister. They also had custom stickers made for the outside of the canister, which included the wedding date and their initials. The RSVP letter that was sent out alongside the canisters was done up to mimic an old developing slip from a film lab too, which is pretty cool. So hopefully, my future wife will let me do something like this.
I was
Very
thinking
cool
about
idea.
this. I was thinking about this recently. If I ever have a girlfriend that I end up getting married to, I want to have like an all-access pass that I send to people.
Oh, you would love that.
I just send an all-access because I'm not going to do a traditional bullshit same. That's me. Of course, every woman out there sitting there going, or guy that's been married going, yeah, good luck getting the woman to agree to anything like that. It's their day.
You should send the in-laws like a general admission sticker or something.
I would do something weird.
Yeah, maybe have like a VIP tent set up.
It'd just be like, here's your sticker, and have laminates printed.
That would be
or
cool.
have laminates and stickers.
See, I haven't heard of that. I mean, I'm sure someone in the music community has done that. But
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's unique. I'm all about unique.
Very unique. I think these two are photographers, so that's why they both got on the same page. But I loved the stickers they put on the outside the canister too, because it mimicked Kodak film so well.
Well, I'm ending my my boycott of going out with photographer girls.
Really?
I'm going out with one on Friday.
Is this the first one?
What, in a while?
No. I mean, like, have you went out with a photographer before?
At some point, yeah.
Okay.
It never works out because I'm very critical of their work if it sucks. So I can't do it.
Let me critique your work. Do you have that Squarespace app? Let me check it out.
It'd be like, nope, can't talk to you. Oh, you shoot. And she shoots Canon. Turns out we went to high school together. We had the same class together. She was a senior when I was what's below a senior? A junior?
A junior.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a junior. We were in the same class, but I guess we don't remember each other. But
She went, wow. You should just blast, she's a Canon girl, so you should blast the Joey L theme song.
I went and watched it the other day, and I resent it to him. Like, yeah, Joey L. I'm like, I got to go check out your MySpace at the end of it.
I love that at the way in. It's like, check out the MySpace, blah, blah, blah.
It's that old.
It is. It's
My
from
5D
2009.
Mark III.
Oh,
sorry. My 1DS Mark III.
He was 19.
Felt so
That was
incomplete.
age. Yeah.
All right. Oh, good. We good?
We're good. Yeah. We are good.
I didn't mean to interrupt you
and
that
golden.
much.
Oh, you're fine. It's just going to be a long episode,
It
I
is.
feel like. How far are we in so far?
We're in about 38 minutes.
Oh, my God.
That's normal.
No, we're not past the half an hour
Well,
yet,
I had
right?
extra stuff to talk about in the beginning.
is true.
And I'm going to talk about one thing here. I put up a quote. Did you read my quote yesterday?
No. I don't think I did.
I was at lunch, and I had this.
Was it short or long?
It was short.
No.
And then I ended up sending an email that was longer.
I
Because
saw
of
the
quote.
email.
But the quote stood out to me. I was thinking back to somebody I knew. Mm-hmm. Somebody that I used to know.
Kimber and Gautier style?
And I came up with this, and it was for myself. But it was the day I stopped trying to rely on others to make me successful was the day I took full control of making myself a success.
I did see that quote, actually.
I just thought that resonated. Mm-hmm. I thought that made sense because it was true. I relied,
Well, especially for you, yeah.
Well, but my thing was, and I wrote this in the email. If you're not on the Fronos Photo email list, please go ahead and sign up because from time to time I send out information like this. But also, there's a lot of good information. If you haven't signed up before, just go to fronosphoto.com, look for the orange box.
And I'm on there, and I don't even know what you're going to be sending out, so it's always like news to me every time I check. I'm like, oh, he sent an email. I don't even know what it's about.
Like when I was in Seattle outside, upset about lunch, and they're like, "Where's Jared?" Because you just sent an email because everybody got it. The
They
email.
all thought you were outside typing up an email, and I'm like, no, he has it pre-planned and set.
Yeah, that was pre-planned to go. But anyway, I was one of those people like, yeah, I was working with this band, and you want to latch on to somebody in the hopes that they become successful, and then they take you along with them. And yes, that can work out for some people, but you're in no control. And until you take control of your own destiny or your own success, in some cases, you're not going to find your way. And for me, it was taking full control of everything and not relying on other people to be successful in order to make me successful. Now, that doesn't mean, because somebody commented back and they're like, well, I'm sure you took people's advice. I'm like, well, yeah. There's nothing wrong with getting advice from people and taking whatever they say and distilling it down to whether that works for you or not. You're still taking control of the decisions that you make. You're not relying on somebody to drag you along or not saying, well, I'd be successful if I had money. Well, you have to bootstrap it. You have to find a way to be successful. And when I took control of everything, that is when I just one, became a little more happier because I was in control of my own destiny, and two, I was able to make myself more of a success because of it and not relying and waiting for somebody else to do something for me. Because if you're relying on somebody else to do something for you, it doesn't get done the way that you want it to get done. So that's all I have to say about that.
It's very true. Very, very true.
And the last thing that I was going to say before we jump into the flying solo was I shot the Dirty Heads the other night.
Yes.
And
they probably have a lot of those empty canisters.
no, the funny thing is only one person in that band smokes.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that.
That wasn't last time when they came around.
Yeah, well, I was surprised to hear that.
Maybe they cleaned up.
Very nice guys, of course.
Very nice
But
guys.
what I want to say is that you can get access to everybody in the music industry by knowing one person. One person only. And there's no specific name for this person. If you know one person on tour, you know a crew guy, you know everybody. Because everybody on the other side of the velvet rope, everybody that's on tour knows somebody else, who knows somebody else, who knows somebody else, who knows you, who knows them, who knows this, who knows that. It's just how it works. So because I met this guy Shannon back in the day when I was on tour with Modest Yahoo, anytime he comes into... When you're on tour, there's the 4 people in the band, then there's a tour manager, and then there's road crew. So you have up to 12 people on a bus, which means that they don't all end up on the same tour all the time. So if you're friends with all of them and they end up on 5 different tours, you now have access to 5 different bands. And then when you have access to each one of those bands, there's opening acts. Then you have access to them, and then they have access, and then they grow, and they have crew people, and it just spreads out like a virus.
Never ending.
That's how you get into this thing. And so I said, Shannon, all I ask for you to do is just give me permission to shoot from wherever I want, doing whatever I want, like I always say, and I'll be fine. And he did. He got me that. There was no pit, so I had to shoot from stage, and it wasn't the easiest thing to do. And basically I edited the images, not the greatest images in the world. You saw them. There are some really solid ones because of the way that the stage was set up.
And you had to deal with that rough lighting, too.
It's the worst lighting. It was just
It's LEDs.
LED wash in the back, and then just fairground lights on the front.
Super hot in the face. Yeah, it's bad.
But anyway,
That sounded terrible.
super hot in the face. Right. Anyway, I'm going to be making a video about that. And so anyway, all I wanted to say was shooting Dirty Heads, how knowing one person on tour opens up every other opportunity. That's the secret to getting into a show. Or that's the secret of doing it, is knowing somebody. The other secret is doing quality work and not being an asshole.
I have a real quick fun Queens of the Stone Age show. Or
Steve, this is
story
already
to talk
going
about.
too long. I'm just kidding.
Queens of the Stone Age show. Basically, I was supposed to shoot them this past Sunday night at the Mann Center in Philly. I get there, record rep screws it all up. There's no photo pass, no tickets, nothing, and I'm just paid my $15-20 to park and all that. Luckily, we were in a good relationship with the Mann Center, so we had the rep from the Mann Center come out. She gave me a photo pass, tickets, everything I needed, even a VIP pass to basically be like side stage, all right away. So, I mean, you also, if you know someone at the venue, that also hooks you up. That could always be an in as well. Not nearly as much as being with someone on tour,
right,
or a tour manager or someone in the band. But I get there, and basically Queens of Stone Age had the worst lighting in the world. Orange, reds, very dim. I was shooting at like 12,800 or something crazy at like 1/100th of a second, like to the point where I couldn't even shoot, really. And the worst part is that they limited me to where I can shoot either the left or the right side of the stage. I couldn't be in the center, which was pretty much the entire stage. So I didn't get much at all. It's a bummer, but I had the same kind of situation. Like, I got pictures, but nothing extraordinary,
right,
in my opinion.
Okay, are we ready for this one?
We're ready. You can move on.
Oh,
now.
hell yeah.
You're waiting for me to finish that.
No, it's a good story. No, I just...
Cool story, bro.
Cool story. Happy birthday.
You should tell the parties.
Party my house this Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Except it's over by the time you're hearing it.
Oh, yeah. So you guys can't come. Sorry.
Steven's birthday party at my place.
That'll be fun.
So I've done a lot of flying solos over the years of doing this. Now episode
Wow, it has
96.
been years now. That's crazy.
Yeah. But the flying solo has gotten better. And I've done a lot of business stuff and about making money. And what we really know is from doing the survey is that most people are hobbyists that read the site. I still feel that hobbyists, it's not that they don't want to make money. I think every photographer wants to get paid to do something, even if you break even or even if you make enough money to pay for your gear. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. You need to get paid for some of it because if you're a hobbyist, and you have an inkling to be a photographer, or you enjoy it tremendously, you know that better gear and better glass is going to help you out. So if you make money and you invest it back into your gear, and that's all you care about, then that's perfectly fine. But hobbyist questions, I wanted to hear hobby questions. I didn't specify, like, don't ask me about gear and stuff like that, but I wanted to ask questions that, what do you want to know as a hobbyist? I'm here to help you. This was difficult because over 350 questions at this point have come in.
And you normally get
anywhere between 80 and 90, depending on when I put it up, or 150.
Yeah.
But this is twice as many as normal, if not a little more than that.
More than that, yeah.
And there's a lot here, but there's some things I want to say. I wrote it down so I didn't screw it up. A lot of basic questions, and some questions I've answered before. So I've answered a lot of the questions that people were asking, so please go back and listen to old RAWtalks, download all of them, listen to the flying solos, just listen to them, because there's a lot of information in the old ones. Okay. And it's also important to know that I'm going to do my best to not be a dick with my answers. I'm not being a dick. I'm just saying it like it is. But I think that many people expect to pick up okay, here we go. I think part of the issue is a lot of people expect to pick up photography and be amazing in a year, 1 to 2 years. 1 to 3 years.
I was going to say probably more like 6 months now these days.
Well, so even less.
Yeah.
They think you're going to pick up a camera and you're going to become an expert and you're going to be an amazing photographer and knowing everything about it. And all I will tell you is that I was still in auto probably well into 3 to 5 years in, personally. And this was shooting film back in the day. This was I didn't have I didn't have the internet to look around. I did have the internet in '94 for AOL, but it wasn't like you had photo blogs to go study for this stuff.
And it was a lot harder to go from film, from auto to manual versus today,
where you were more
digital. You can see it right away. You learn your mistakes on the fly.
Exactly.
So a lot easier to get out.
So I want you guys to know, as hobbyists, I was in auto for 3 to 5 years in an auto mode. I'm talking
right?
running man. I thought that, well, I'm shooting baseball. They're running, so I might as well shoot with the running man guy. I don't know why. I didn't know why, but I had to teach myself. You can't think the whole 10,000 hours thing still applies. Malcolm Gladwell.
What is this?
10,000 hours.
I don't know that.
Well, you don't become an expert in something until you put 10,000 hours in.
10,000. How long is that?
It's a lot of time.
It's a lot of hours.
A lot of years.
Yeah.
Can you? Never mind. It's a lot of time. 10,000 hours. You don't get good at something until you put 10,000. You're 10,000 hours in.
Wow.
But you can't expect to be you can't expect these things to just happen overnight. And I think that's the case today, as everybody wants instant gratification. Everybody, regardless of photography. What?
It's 416 days, but that's like straight work, I guess.
Right. So it's a lot of time. You're spending over a year, but it's 10,000 hours of time practicing and honing your skills.
Well, and I think a lot
so you start to see results, and I'm not saying expert.
Yeah. And a lot of people, too, I think they read stuff online, and they automatically assume they know what they are reading, and they can do it without actually doing it. You just got to get out there and do it. Like different types of niches and all that kind of stuff when it comes to photography.
Another thing is I'm kind of... People have this idea that you go pro. No pun intended.
I know.
That you quote-unquote go pro. And all I have to say is, are you signing a contract to be on the professional photo team of America? You know, of like Chicago, the pro team? You're not signing a contract to quote-unquote go pro. There is no such thing as I'm going pro. You're a photographer. You make money, awesome. Then you just work your way. Oh, you might as well. I guess I'm a pro photographer.
Or they're like, I'm part of MPS. I'm a pro.
Right. It doesn't mean anything. So you're not signing a contract to be on a professional sports team here. That's going pro because you're being a professional in that field. There's nothing wrong with having a job and making money as a photographer. And like I said, paying for gear through the money that you make because you love it. And if somehow you end up falling into a place where it's looking like it's going to be your full-time gig, then that's what it is. You don't need to call yourself a pro to be. When I was younger, I thought that if I put professional photographer on my business card, that meant something. But I was 13 at the time. That was just stupid. You're a photographer. Professional is just saying that because you're trying to make pretend you're that.
Yeah.
So, but I was young, didn't have the guidance. So anyway, that's that. And in big bold text here, stop worrying what others think. Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Stop comparing yourself to others or their work. Focus on your work. Stop trying to think that, oh, well, this person's doing this and they're much better than me and, oh, I'm not going to be any good. You got to focus on your own damn work.
And it's art. There's never any right or wrong.
It's subjective.
It is subjective to a certain degree, but
Yeah.
I also think that some people find it beautiful, some people find it disgusting.
And the worst photographers in the world could be the best business people in the world to get their stuff seen most.
Oh, yeah.
Because a
And
lot
the
of these
complete
questions
opposite, too.
are like, how do I get seen in photography? How does my work get out there? And a lot of the questions that are being asked are questions that, one, are too broad, and two, if you're asking, you need to discover it yourself. There's a lot of questions in business. There's a lot of things you just have to have, and you just have to figure out on your own. That I can't sit here and tell you that, oh, well, if you follow the steps that I followed, that you're going to be just as successful. Because I don't have what you have, and you don't have what I have. Nobody is exactly the same.
Mm-mm.
So, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
To go
Let's
in?
fire away.
Fire away. Gina Pemberton. And so some of these are very basic, but I think there's nuggets in here for everybody to get. Gina Pemberton. Exporting photos for printing. I find it hard what I need to resize my photos to fit the print size, like 4x6 and 8x10. The reason I pick this is because if you are having a problem with resizing to 4x6, the problem is with you. Because 4x6 is the proper aspect ratio of your 2x3. So that's full frame. 4x6 is full frame. 8x10, not full frame. 8x12, full frame. 12x18, full frame. 24x36, 16x24, 30x45.
It was the best
Or
when I
30 by
worked in a
48,
photo lab
something
and
like
people
that.
would come in, why is this being cropped? Or why
It's
are
a
you printing on
5x7.
8x12 or something? It's because that's the correct aspect ratio. That's why.
So
I had to explain it to someone who's not a photographer, and it's not the easiest thing to do.
right, and the way around it is if you are looking to get a full frame image printed on an 8x10, I used to, Lightroom lets you do this now these days to lay it out, but literally you're going to be with a white border.
Well, white border, or you do what you don't like to do, crop it to an 8x10.
Or you could crop it with an 8x10.
Yeah.
But just know that when we used to print it, my lab would print it as 8x12, and then you slice 2 inches off of it. An
Yeah.
inch from here, an inch from there, or whatever works for the composition of the frame.
We would add the letterbox or the white borders every time.
Right. So if you need to print an 11x14, then just know that you, in Photoshop or wherever you're going to do it, you plop the full frame image on it, and you leave a white border. That's the answer. There's no other way around it.
Mm-hmm.
Done. Okay. Turning the page. Turn the page.
Wow, you got one page done already? That was fast. Oh, because that had the other stuff on
That
it.
had all my other notes on
All
it.
your other
But also,
stuff to
when I
preface.
say pages, there's 3 questions on this page because
Wow,
it's size 18 text. All right?
And you're holding it up like this close on your face.
And I have new glasses. Todd Matson DSLRs have many controls. This can be intimidating to the new photographer, whether they want to be a pro someday or not. For the person fresh into it, what are the 3 things? I guess 3 things that would be. It's just not written well, so I'm having trouble reading it.
You should read these before
I
you
do
say
read them, but I skim through stuff.
Yeah.
What are the 3 things a would-be photographer should focus on understanding? I'm guessing f-stop, ISO, exposure time, but what would Fro say a newcomer should focus on? Pun not necessarily intended. To get off on the right foot. So basically, he's saying a new photographer comes along, is the most important thing for them to know exposure, shutter speed, or just whatever, the exposure triangle.
The controls he was asking, I think,
Right.
about.
Do you have any clue what my answer is going to be to this?
I was going to say the exposure triangle.
I'm going to absolutely say no.
Really?
For somebody just picking up a camera.
Composition.
Somebody just picking up a camera. My answer to this is start in auto.
And learn your framing
This is
right
one of the
first?
only times you're going to hear me talk about this. But
I don't know if I've ever heard you say that.
I've said it before. I've said it to many people. I think the best way to start learning photography is not to sit there and try to get into the manual settings right away. The most important thing to me is that you are able to get framing and composition and capture a moment. Whether that moment is overexposed, underexposed, out of focus, totally dark, but I can still see that you captured the moment. That's all I care about. I can teach anybody how to get the proper exposure, but if you don't understand framing and you don't understand composition and you don't anticipate the moment, that is much harder to teach. It still can be learned. It's much harder to learn. But I don't even care if you shoot RAW when you first start off. I don't, because you're learning. You need to get the feel for photography down, and then you're gonna hit a wall. You're gonna get into it 6 months down the road, and you're gonna be like, okay, the camera's doing all the work, but now I want to be able to blow the background out. Now I want to be able to freeze motion. Now I want to be able to do this. But you've already spent all this time enjoying your camera, learning what you can do by shooting and capturing the moment. Then you can get into learning the exposure triangle. That's going to be extremely important after that. But I want people to start off like, if I hand a kid a camera, it's go shoot.
Yeah.
I don't care if the image shows up. As long as I see that something is there, but and there's an inkling that you had your composition or framing, I can teach you that. I'm going to teach you that first. I'm going to teach you to see the world, and that's why we have these. What's the website, Stephen?
Perfect segue.
I didn't mean to do that.
Plasticprinters.com. Do you want your...
I got it. Go to info.plasticprinters.com/fro. You can get one of these free, if you're the first 1,000 in the U.S., to get a See the World business card from me that has my stuff on it. I want people to learn that stuff first and foremost. So yes, I think the most important thing is get auto, learn composition, and go from there.
Yeah, my intro to photography professor would always tell me, you learn the rules to break them. So he would teach us composition, whether it be rule of thirds, leading lines, whatever. And then he would say, you fully understand them, understand the fundamentals of it, and then you break them.
Yeah.
You do your own thing.
But does that make sense?
It makes total sense, yeah.
And I'm
very surprised to hear you say shoot JPEG and auto, but it's totally understandable when it comes to a complete beginner standpoint.
Because if you are giving somebody a camera and you're telling them, well, you have to shoot in manual, they're just going to get so discouraged and not be able to do it. I started in auto. That's just where I started. I didn't have anybody teaching me between 13 and 15 years old until I got into high school and had classes.
Well, and now you're going to have all the kids obviously start in auto with the
iPhones.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like, if you have the eye or you have an inkling that it's going somewhere, I can mold you to go the right direction.
Yep.
So let's get to the next one. But that was my answer.
That was a good question, though.
Yes. Michelle Lapointe. She must be Canadian. With only doing it as a hobby and knowing it's all about... I have a question with that coming up, only doing it as a hobby.
What?
Do you only have sex as a hobby? Like, are you trying to have a kid like every single time? I don't know the segue. I don't know where the hell I was going with that. But does it make, you know what I'm saying?
Because they had the word do it in it?
Probably. With only doing it as a hobby and knowing it's all about glass, how can you justify paying $2,000 for a lens? Are there lenses you can suggest other than the 51.4 that would be worth getting under the $500 mark? So this is always the question. Look, if you have you don't have to spend $2,000 for the best piece of glass in the world. You can get lenses that are under $500, but if you had $2,000 to spend right now, I could get you 2 lenses on your DX body that you're going to live with for the next couple years, and when you sell them, you're not going to lose a lot of money. You buy a Sigma 17-50 2.8, and you buy a 70 to 200 2.8 OS Sigma. That's $1,300 and that's $600. You're right around $2,000, give or take tax, depending on where you buy it.
And your range is covered.
Your range is covered.
That's great.
Those are the 2 basic. And yes, if you get people complaining about photography and not getting good results. Glass is still important, and this isn't the best of the best of the. You're not spending $2,300 for a 70 to 200 from Nikon. What are you doing? Is somebody wishing you a happy birthday?
I think, yeah. It's all good now. I just turned my notifications off.
So, yes, you got those 50 millimeter lenses. If you have under $500 to spend, you're getting a 51.8. I actually rather see people get a Canon 42.8 because I think that's a much better built lens.
One?
The pancake lens is a hell of a lot better than the 51.8 in terms of quality.
Crazy inexpensive. The pancake.
It's like $250.
Oh,
it's not that expensive.
Oh, because the 50 is $99, right?
It's like $109.
Oh,
and it probably went up to $119. But
yeah.
But the quality that pancake is very good. $2,000, 17 to 50 Sigma, you may be able to find it used, and that's a 2.8, 70 to 200 Sigma, or whatever other 2.8s you can find from other companies. That's fine. But when you start off with those 2 lenses, you're covering every single range. The first lens I bought, it was an 80 to 200 Nikon. It cost me $900. I earned the money. I think I was 14 years old
Good
when
old
I bought
3.5 to 5.6.
No, this one was a 2.8.
Oh,
this
really?
was an 80 to 200 2.8.
Oh,
That was
I
the
thought you
first
said- I
pro
thought you-
lens.
For some reason, I thought you just said 18 to 200.
No, they didn't exist back
I was
then.
going to say, yeah.
The biggest range that they came out with was a 24 to 120 back in the day.
Gotcha.
But that was not a good lens.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought that lens because I was shooting hockey, and I knew that a wide lens wasn't going to work for me. Then the next lens I added was a 35 to 70 2.8 Nikon. So I had a 35 to 70 and an 80 to 200. I built each lens, and then I got specialty lenses from then on. And that was on full frame. It was a film camera.
millimeter.
I think prime lenses are always good to start with, too, just because it forces you to really learn your composition and to move around.
But as we saw shooting a concert, when I shot,
obviously, yeah,
I filled the frame. You can't fill the frame as much and
Yeah.
anticipate. But yes, when you're shooting
when you're
inanimate
first
things.
starting off, yeah.
Yep. Brandon O'Hara. Just continue doing live commentary occasionally when you're doing shoots and making a video on it. It helps, at least for me, immensely. When you essentially think out loud whenever you change angles, lenses, exposures, etc., and explain your reasoning behind them. So I guess mine is more of a request than a question. Basically what I did at Creative Live, and
Yeah.
basically what I have coming out with the Maria video, where I love doing this.
Commentate on the fly, yeah.
And I think there will be more of this when you come full time. We'll be going and doing more shoots
which
like
is
this.
very, very soon.
Oh, is it? You're going to announce that?
Not officially yet, but let's just say that.
You haven't signed any paperwork.
It's in the works.
It's in the works. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. You now have an income.
That's good, yeah. Finally.
You'll now be able to have an income. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
That's what hard work gets you.
Yes.
Thank you, Brandon. That's exactly what we're doing. Plan on doing more of that. I just love shooting, and then you guys can take as much information as from you can.
By the way, I know a Brandon O'Hara. I don't know if this is the same kid I'm thinking of, but
yeah, it says I'm friends with Stephen. No, it doesn't.
I actually graduated with one, but I guess it's a common name maybe.
Joey Allain. That's Allain. Allain.
I think it's pronounced Alan.
No,
I don't know.
It's Elaine. I'm 41 and absolutely in love with photography, but how does an introvert such as myself compete in a business in an age that seems to be so heavily reliant on social media and geared towards an extrovert type of person? The first thing I wrote here was not an easy answer sometimes. Sometimes you're going to be or you're not. It's just one of those things. You either are or you're not.
You need to be that type of person for sure.
Yeah, but then there's ways around it.
But you used to be kind of an introvert. So
I have all of this to talk
yeah,
about.
Okay.
Because I'm going to use myself as a prime example. So what I said to him is, it's not an easy answer. Sometimes you either are going to be or you're not. You'll either find a way or you don't. Sometimes you just have to say fuck it. And I got to that point where I just
Which is
said,
what you did.
fuck it. Well, personal story number one, my early video attempts. Something you've never seen, Leisure Suit Jared.
No, I think they can see them now. In
Not
that.
Leisure Suit Jared.
Did I think I saw it. I saw that personally, but I don't think you showed that. I guess.
Leisure Suit Jared, okay? Me trying to be something. I got up in the tree.
Yeah, I did see that one.
I don't think you've ever seen that.
I saw that one. Ari showed me it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then I need to find
It was when you going through the old footage.
Oh, all right. So I was up in a tree at Ari's house, and he was filming me. We had a microphone XLR that plugged in, and I was trying to make a video about breaking nature or something.
Leisure Suit.
Leisure
Jared.
Suit Jared, because I have a mint green leisure suit. What?
It's funny.
And I had a shaved head with a buzz cut with like mutton chops. So I'm in the tree, and I'm trying to remember everything that I wanted to say, and I just kept failing. Time and time again. We didn't even get a take done. Because every time I did it, I'm like, oh, shit, what was I supposed to say? What was I supposed to say?
You're extremely well at that now.
Instead of just saying something. So that was one example. I was not good in front of the camera. You can see that in that Nikon thing, in the anniversary video that I did, where I'm sitting there and I'm just, hello, it's Jared for Pro Photo 101. No.
Every time.
And I had no confidence in that thing. That wasn't any good.
So awkward.
So I wasn't good in front of the camera. And then, let's see.
Then you made 1,500 videos later.
I'm
Now
just.
you're getting there.
Almost there.
Well, here. What I really did is like, when I was at Alan's Camera, when I started to make videos there, even when I was Frono's Photo, but when I'm saying I'm at the store, literally, I still would hear that I would get quieter because I'm like, well, what are people going to think when I'm making this video? What if they don't like what I have to say? But then I got to the point where I'm like, block them out. Screw what everybody else thinks. That's what it comes down to, is stop worrying what other people are going to say or think about what you do, because you're actually doing it. Not many people will have the balls to sit there and do it. You just have to say, fuck it. You get in front of the camera, you practice your freaking ass off, and you just get better at doing it. The more I sat in front of the camera, the better off I got. You can go back and look at the first 5 months of videos and realize I don't have a very good intro. I'm doing all the stuff off my top of my head, but I'm not that good yet. I don't know what happened, but one day I just said, screw it, and I stopped worrying what everybody else would think. And what I said to myself was, I need to raise my level to be on camera. I need to accentuate the things that I'm saying. I need to raise my level, shit like that. I almost hit the water again. But those are the things you do. So I made sure that I did my normal and then plus 10. That's what I kept telling myself before I started. I need to perform. I need to raise my level and show some affectation here and make this thing work. So that's what I have.
And what amazes me too about with you in front of the camera is you did it so long just by yourself in front of the camera. Now you're able to do it at Creative Live on the fly with a studio audience,
right? And that
RAWtalk studio audience, everything, and you're still just pushing it out.
I don't know. I honest to God can't tell you what happened. I always would worry about saying things growing up.
Well, I know in front of people, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I think probably part of that came from if I said something wrong in the presence of my mom or dad, and then my dad would say something, that you get a little worried about what you're saying, so then you hold your tongue.
That's like me when I would record in my room for the radio station, and I'd have my parents overhear it and give me my tips. Yeah,
you always worry what they're going to say. But how do you get in front of 311 on stage in front of 8,000 people and just introduce them?
It's pretty crazy. I didn't actually introduce them, though. I just was on there with the camera. Wendy introduced them.
You did a 311 chant.
Oh, I did the 311 chant.
You put on the glasses,
I did.
And you did the 311 chant.
I did do the 311
chant. I remember.
Chant. Yes. Speaking of 311, we just interviewed them backstage on Sunday.
But how did you do it?
How did I do it? I just did it. I don't know. I just said F it and did it.
See?
I was still shaking, though, and nervous, but I kept my cool.
But you hide it.
You do.
And here's the thing.
You gotta be good at that.
If you're going to get in front of a stage, what I love about being on stage is when those lights are blaring in your face, you can't see shit anyway.
You can't see any of the crowd.
So you just forget that they're there.
You pretend. This is what I was always told in radio is you're there by yourself in the studio. When you're on stage and you have that blaring light in front of you, you act like if you're in the studio. You act like you're by yourself because you can't even see the crowd anyway. It's the same mentality, really, when it comes down to it. I mean, I don't know how to relate that to photography, but...
The relating to photography is you just gain the confidence.
Yeah.
There's no way... Like, if you know that me going up and talking to girls randomly never been the easiest thing.
But now you're pretty good at it,
I'm pretty good at it.
You are pretty good at it.
Closing the deal, totally different story. But I did with the other day. She was 22.
Oh, yeah, and you went to a show together, right?
Yeah, it was bad.
First date shows are
wasn't a
weird.
Date. Well, this
kind of a date.
So what happened is she was soliciting on the street, not for sex, for the for like charity, to give money.
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there, and she's talking to me. I'm like, well, I'm not giving you money. But
that's a great way to start off.
But
I won't help you. I'm
on my way to lunch.
Charity.
Well, I was like, I'm on my way to lunch. She's like, oh, where are you going? I'm like, this place. She's like, I hear they have really good food. I'm like, you want to go? Oh,
and did you go with her?
She was working, but that's what we were going to set up to go out to eat. But turns out she's just young. That's not where I need to be, so that's not working. That wouldn't work, and I'm well aware of that. So anyway, question, Joey, at some point you just do it and you don't worry. I know it's not easy, and I know that I make it look easy, but I still get nervous when I go up on stage until I start. You just get past it. You just get into your own brain and you say, oh, I'm going to do this like nobody was here. I'm going to keep my level up, and I don't care what other people are going to say. Why? Because they're not standing here on stage doing it themselves. They're not going out and being like this. They're not doing it. You are actually going to do it. Is that good? Did I answer that?
Yeah, I think you definitely did.
What was that noise?
It was just a reset alarm.
All right, block out. So be confident. I know it's hard for some. It was hard for me, but you just have to do it and get past it. Okay, Ryan Peace. Where can I turn for honest, non-biased critiques of my work so that I can grow as an artist? All critiques are biased.
Yes.
Every single critique is biased because it's somebody's opinion. Turn to your... Yes, it's good to get other people's opinions. People love the rapid-fire critiques. I'm just one person who gives an opinion. I like my opinion because it's my freaking opinion. Don't always rely on what other people say when you're starting out to say what work is good and what work is not. You determine what work is good and what work is not. You're going to start to discover which work is good. That's just the nature of this. If you listen to other people, if you don't in your gut feel that image is good, then don't show it. I went through this with, I'll just say with Adam, when he was having an agent type person helping put together portfolios. And I'm looking at some of the images they're picking, and they're like, well, an agent may like this image, so I think you should choose it. I'm like, but do you like this image? He's like, well, not really, but they think. I'm like, I don't care what they think. It's your portfolio. They don't know that every agency is going to like that photo anyway. That's subjective. Put your best work forward. Yes, take opinions from other people, but then comes down to what you are going to set forth in making your own mind up.
Yeah, and there's plenty of times where I've showed you my work or you've showed me yours, and we both disagree, whether it be I like the photo and you don't, or you like the photo and I don't. Again, it's all subjective.
Absolutely.
It's art.
Yeah. But some people do know more than others. Eddie Griggs. I'm a photographer who is legally blind. Not like Helen Keller.
You mean Anne Frank?
No, I mean Anne Frank. I mean Helen Keller.
I know.
I have around 2200, that's 20-200 to -400 vision. So let me explain that to people who don't understand it, because I needed to get an, and by the way, I've been talking to my ophthalmologist. We need to go as soon as you come full time down to Will's Eye, which is one of the best eye places in the world.
Do an interview?
And do an interview with him.
He's cool with
Dr.
it?
Kohler. Oh yeah, he's a little hesitant. The funny thing is I called the office and they're like, and what would the cost be for this interview? I'm like, what would the cost be for this interview? I'm like, is that how it works in the medical industry?
You told me about this. That blows my mind.
I'm like, people, they make you pay to be interviewed? I'm like, nah. Like, it's not how it works with me.
It's the complete opposite 99% of the time with any other field or area.
So, yeah. Anyway, let me explain this. 20/20 vision is really good.
It's perfect vision.
Yeah, you see, okay, so when I was 20/40 vision, and I'm correct that I may be 20/30 now, my right eye is 20/60 by itself, not very good. So what that means is what normal people would see at 60 feet, I would only see at 20 feet from that one eye. So I have to be at 20 feet, they could be at 60 feet to see that thing. I hope I'm not wrong. This is the explanation I was given.
So you're nearsighted too, correct?
I'm blind. I'm not blind like this guy. I just have trouble seeing certain things.
Yeah, I don't know what my vision is, but I know I'm nearsighted. I just need glasses to see far away.
Well, your health coverage will cover that, Stephen.
Oh, that's great. When I come full time.
Did you read that?
I did.
It's always eyes, and you can go to my doctor.
There you go.
You need to go to a good eye doctor.
I can book an appointment, have my eyes checked, and then we can interview him. Bam.
Yeah. So anyway, let me get back to Eddie's question. I am a photographer who is legally blind. I have around 20-200, 2400 vision, but I take really beautiful photos.
Nice.
If you were me, would you advertise yourself as legally blind photographer or not? How about giving a discount to people who are disabled or people with disabilities? Is that a good idea? It's always a good idea if that's what if you're passionate about something, that you give people a discount. Like if you do photos of blind people with blind families and think.
Wait, photos?
Let me take that back.
Yeah.
If there's a family that so happens to have a blind person in it and you want to do a family portrait, by all means, that's awesome. This is a tough choice. If your work is that good, I don't care if you're blind or the best seeing person in the world, your work is going to speak for itself. I don't think you need to greatly advertise the fact that, hey, I'm blind, I can't see shit, hire me, because that's a scary thing. Lead with your work, and then people see it, and you're like, look, you see the results. I don't, but you do. That was good. That was good.
So with him being legally blind, does that mean he's just legally blind without glasses or contacts?
No, I just don't think that's correctable vision.
I'm sure it's correctable to a certain extent, right?
Like mine, I have uncorrectable eyes.
Yeah.
Because I can't get surgery because of the misshapement from what I was born with. But these are corrected, sort of, but it's very subtle.
Okay.
I don't know what that really does mean.
Yeah, I wonder how much he can see.
Right, but that means what you see at 400 feet.
Wow.
I
don't know how.
He has to be 20 feet away from what you Yes, he'll be 20 feet away from that sign that you see at 400 feet, the same.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Give me the wheel fro because I want to give a blind guy a spin.
Cool. Nice.
Not that he's going to see what it lands on, unless he gets really close to the screen.
Oh, God.
Well, he gets it. It's fun. I'm
hope
not
he
making
gets
fun.
it.
I feel for you. I don't really think that you should blatantly, flat out advertise, I'm a blind photographer. I think that you can...
I don't know if that's the best
You
way
can
to
tell
do it.
people that it's okay, but let your work speak for itself. So we've got the Wheel of Fro here, and we're going to have some new additions soon. This is the Wheel of Fro. On it, we've got Rode microphone. It says Rode microphone. What they're going to give you is, well, do you need me to move this? Because it's in a different place than it normally is. But whatever. No, it's always tilted more this way.
Whatever.
Is
This
it
good
fine?
enough.
Can you see it?
Do a little more this way if you want.
All right, whatever. Less. Give it back to me this way. Thank you.
Take it
Micro. So
over.
on the wheel, we spin the wheel each and every week. The people that are on the wheel do not pay to be on the wheel. I reach out to them so that we can get free stuff to give away. Rode microphone, they're going to give you probably the Smart Lav Plus if it lands on it. Think Tank photo, you're looking at a nice Think Tank bag, probably worth $100 to $150. Adorama Pix is giving you something cool. I don't know what.
Wasn't it
Photo
a book
book,
or something?
100 and some bucks, whatever I decide it is in credit. Borrow lenses is $250 in credit. Squarespace is a free year of the business service, which is valued at $100 and some dollars. Go to squarespace.com/Fro. And you can get you can get your 14-day free trial. A Fro prize, Black Rapid strap, Fro prize, Think Tank again, Rode, Fro prize, Adorama Pix, Lexar, and then we have the question mark, which we have a new edition coming soon.
We do. Coming very soon.
Do you wanna-
I got to figure out how I want to do this, but we're gonna put the Actually, what would be? I was just thinking that would be. I was thinking of something. I'm like, well, that wouldn't make sense to put 3 awesome prizes right here because then that's not random enough. I think we're gonna put the DJI in the middle, like Wheel of Fortune does, where they put the the $1 million one. So we're gonna make a line, and it's gonna be right in the middle. If it lands in that middle area,
Super skinny slither.
super skinny sliver, we're going to give away a DJI Phantom Plus 2. DJI Vision Phantom Plus 2, and that's valued at like $1,300.
Yeah, that's
so
a great item. Wow.
I probably have to talk to Donovan to see if he'll do another work of art, or I'll just design my own and do that. So are we ready to spin this?
Now, just to be clear, that DJI, is that just a one-time thing? That's not going to be a recurring thing if someone actually lands on it?
Well, that's up to them.
Wow.
That's up to them. We have to figure out how to do it.
Interesting.
And maybe one day we'll put an Animos Ninja in there as well.
That would be cool, too.
And by the way, we're going to do that Ninja contest.
Oh, yeah?
And I haven't decided what it's going to be, but it's going to be something along the lines of people having to make a video.
Yes.
So they're going to have to actually do it. You're allowed to enter.
I am.
No, you're not allowed to enter. No, you're not allowed to enter.
I'll still enter. Just don't pick me.
No, you can enter.
Yeah, I'll have fun
But
with
we'll
it.
come up and I'll maybe talk to you about what people can do, because I was thinking, we could get 2,000, 3,000 entries if I didn't make people do something. But to win something like this prize, it's going to be valued at $600, $700 with the memory card and everything.
Might as well work
I
for
want to
it a
see
little
some
bit.
freaking creativity.
Yeah.
I want to see you create something, actually do some work and think about it, because that's we're going to pick a winner. Anyway, let's spin this wheel. We're spinning for the guy.
Is it Eddie?
No.
No, just kidding.
It's Eddie Griggs.
Yes, Eddie.
All right, here we go. Wheel of Fro! What was that? Did you break your mic?
No.
There we go. I just had to get my finger in the hole better to make the spin. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. The Wheel of Fro is going to stop probably right in the middle of the question mark. But does it matter where it stops?
Think Tank.
Think Tank photo! Congratulations, Mr. Griggs. You are winning something from Think Tank Photo. It's going to be a nice bag, I'm sure. So we will be contacting you. Congratulations. You're going to get some stuff to put in your photo bag. Well, you're going to get a photo bag to put your stuff in. That's how it's going to work. All right, so we got that out of the way. Now we got to blow through this
And
stuff.
we still got to do Gear of the Week, too. I think we skipped over that.
Shit. How much time are we in?
Do you want to go through another few more questions, or do you want to do Gear of the
What?
Week now?
An hour and 20 minutes.
Shit. Let's just
Yeah,
do
we're
this. You got
taking
2
a
minutes.
long time.
You got less than 2 minutes.
Okay. What are we talking about?
We
The
are talking
IXY.
about the Rode IXY for your iPhone devices that have a lightning adapter.
Yes.
Ixie.
Lightning plug.
And I checked this out yesterday, actually, and it easily fits to my iPhone 5S. And basically, I use the Rode app itself to record, and it's a full stereo recording. You can do Again, 24-bit, 96K recording.
So for audiophiles out there, that actually means
for
something.
audiophiles, that's a big thing. I mean, you would know what that means.
Just hold that up. I mean, it's
this
pretty
is one
darn
of the best
small.
ways to basically record a stereo recording. You don't have to worry about the panning and all that in post. This is pretty much doing it for you. It's a great little device for it's very mobile. I mean, you just stick it on your iPhone and bring it anywhere. It's going to be great for that ambiance if you want to get room tone or something like that too. It's just a great microphone to have.
And now it's priced at $200.
It is $199, correct? Which last week we said $150. I did correct that in RAWtalk.
That was
it is
the old
$199, correct?
Which is
30 pin
pretty
adapter.
expensive for something.
It is.
But it
it's
is a specialty product.
Quality microphone. I mean, half-inch capsules, XY configuration, which is your pretty much standard way to record a stereo recording.
And a lot of people's questions were, well, why wouldn't you just go with something else? Well, the reason that you wouldn't go with something else in this case is because it's small and portable.
That's the big pitch for this, yeah.
Plus, it records into your phone and
directly into your phone. You can email to yourself. You can put it on SoundCloud, Dropbox, whatever you want. FTP it. It's very easy with the Rode app, and it's a great thing to have. I mean, you can also you can set all your settings. It has in-app microphone processing. You can set your actual overall gain. Literally has everything. And they gave us some goodies too along with it.
Well, they got the Rode Grip,
Yep.
which also can attach to the top of your camera. This is something that if we need an extra mic on RAWtalk Mobile, that we need either people to talk into, which we're not because we're going to use our stick mic, but this could be a good room mic for ambient noise, right?
A good room mic, yeah. I don't know if I would get someone to talk into
Room
it, but
mic.
if we were recording either a performance or just having you walk around, maybe have a lav on you, have this for the actual tone of outside or the ambiance, that would be great.
And the last thing they sent was called a dead kitten.
Yeah,
A furry windshield for NT4 and stereo video mics. It looks like a troll doll's hair in black. Do you know what a troll doll
Yes,
is?
I do.
Oh,
The
God, I didn't know if they
troll
still
dolls.
had those. Did you know they used to have trolls that went on your pencils?
Yeah.
Oh, they did. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow, it's been a while.
Okay, so get back to this?
Yes.
Because I...
Fly through them because you have like 20 more pages left.
Jeremy, so we may go into overtime here, and I was thinking, I'm just going to tell people, we were thinking that maybe we cut it up and only have the audio go, the extra bonus stuff go on the audio, but I don't want to be a dick, so you get to watch it. If you're on YouTube, you'll hear everything.
Yeah.
Jeremy W. Basham, how do you compete against students and schools allowing them to shoot clients for grades? The gear and studio space provided by the school. If you are worried about a student taking work from you, then you have something else coming. You cannot be worried that a student is going to take... I remember what one of my teachers said flat out to us in 4x5 class. He goes, if I am going up against you to get a job, I am getting the job. He's like, you will not get that job. It's like, you just won't. And that's what the teacher said. But that's how you put it, because he's a freaking professional in it. And if they wanted the job done professionally, they're going to know from the work that they're going to hire the professional at that point. You can't be worried about schools letting these kids do stuff for assignments. If those are the jobs that you really are doing, you're not going to make money at those jobs anyway if you're looking to make money at it.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, too, if the school is cheap and lazy, I mean, if they just want to find something for free, they'll get the student to do it over the professional.
Exactly.
That happens a lot.
And this one was asked a lot. That's why I just wrote that first.
Okay.
So a bunch of people may have asked it, but I picked one. David King. Right now, photography is a hobby that occasionally makes me money. I'm worried that if it becomes a job that I would like at the... Jesus, what am I doing here? I am worried that if it be... Oh, God, I need to learn how to read. See, my eyes, they play tricks on me.
They do.
Because I have reading issues. I've had reading issues since being a kid, and I think my parents played it up too much because they not played it up, but they were like, well, because he can't see and he's got this eye condition. I thought that was just a crutch. They should have never started saying that stuff. They should have just said, screw you, make it work.
You're not like dyslexic or anything like
I may
that,
be
right?
dyslexic. One of my teachers in high school as a senior thought I may be dyslexic.
Interesting. Because that could be the case.
I reverse 4s and 5s all the time, so I have to take my time when I'm repeating a number. If I'm looking at it, I'll call a 4 a 5 and a 5 a 4 sometimes. Just weird. But the way that I do it is when I'm reading, my brain sees... Well, that would be dyslexia, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
My brain sees it one way, but it's written a different... Like, this is became,
It's almost
not
like
become.
Yeah, and it's almost like you skip over words at the same time, too.
Or that I read that don't and do Oh my God, dude. When I get the things wrong, when I totally read it the opposite of what it should, maybe that's dyslexia. Is there a test I could take?
I have no idea.
Let me find out if I'm dyslexic.
Dyslexia, I thought it's just when you actually flip the words around and letters and numbers. And
Well, I'm flipping letters around all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe I am.
Maybe it's some kind of mild form of it. I don't know.
Maybe I'm mildly formed dyslexic.
Yeah.
I'm worried, but also it's when I try to go too fast.
Well, that too. You do try, especially when we're trying to go fast. Obviously, finish the episode. You're pushing through them.
I'm worried that if it became a job, that I would look at it like a job and not enjoy it as much. Is that something you experienced? I don't think I'd be as excited to shoot my personal stuff. Look,
You took your time reading that one.
I did, and I still almost messed it up.
No, that was good.
But
good job, Jared.
thank you. I was always afraid to get in front of the class and read.
Really?
Well, what if you... I was slow.
Yeah.
I was a slow reader.
Yeah, I would always be like confident, and then I would get in front of the class, and I would start to like shake, and I'm like, oh God.
I guess you need to force kids to do that because there's too many pussies today that probably get up there, not kids, probably parents that are like, don't put my kid in front of the class to read. It's going to embarrass him. If you don't fucking get in front of the class
He's
now,
gonna be like that his
you're going to be
entire
like that
life.
your entire life. So man up!
Mine was the public speaking class, man, when they would take away your cue cards and everything, and you would just have to go up there and rehearse your, do your speech.
I loved public speaking in high school.
Yeah.
So I did public speaking in high school as a senior, and I wore a bow tie, a button-on bow tie around my neck
Not your
once.
leisure suit?
No, I didn't have that yet. But I wasn't a good public speaker. But when I got up in front of the class, what they used to say is, make eye contact, move. Make eye contact, move. And just something changed when I got up there. I got into my head where I just did it. And this was the same thing I was talking about, but you just do it. Yes, you're scared, but you have to get above that thing and to be better. And then what they used to say, they said, you're not afraid to see that line and jump across it.
Yep.
And that was even in high school.
It was so uncomfortable, though, when you had to watch someone that was clearly insanely nervous.
Yeah.
Talking in front of the class.
Come on, you're in the class
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
I don't even remember the question, so do I need to read it again?
If photography became a job, would he lose his enjoyment?
Well, no. Look, if you're doing crappy photo jobs, then probably at some point. But I've been shooting since I was 13, and there were times where I lost the urge to shoot, and it's just like you just get it back, and you get it back. I get it back by going to do what I did the other night at the Dirty Heads. I shot the Dirty Heads. I enjoyed that. I look at my photo books. Okay, let's move on. So no, don't worry about the little shit. Have that problem first. So that's a lot of things. A lot of these questions are people trying to figure out what to do when they get somewhere that they're not there yet.
Yeah.
So get there first and then worry about it.
That is true.
Because the more that you worry about it, the less time you can...
Well, you'll never even
blah,
get there.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
Sly Vegas.
Ooh, that's a cool name.
Where does a hobbyist interested in entering the concert photographer arena begin in terms of gaining access to venues and potential leads for publications? Now, first off, I've answered this a million freaking times. But because he said the last thing, leads for publications, let me paint you a picture right here. You need to do the work and the research. I'm not going to be able to sit here and tell everybody where to go to get this stuff. But when you say that you want to shoot for a publication, what I did when I started out is I went to the bookstore. They have how many magazines on the rack from everybody, no matter what you want to shoot, whether you want to photograph guns and bullets or cars and toasters or music or sports. You open up a freaking magazine, you look on page 3 or 4 on the right-hand side, they always have it. They have photo editor. Assistant photo editor. Phone number. Call them on the phone.
Maybe not magazines nowadays, but...
No. So you go to a website.
You find the contact.
You go to the contact page. You find out who the freaking photo editor is. You find out who the assistant photo editor is, and you send them messages. And don't fuck up the message. Simple. Hi, my name is. Hi. My name is what? My name is who? My name is Slim Shady. Okay, so you reach out to them. My name is...
What?
I'm looking to do X. I'm looking to do X. Here is my work that speaks for itself. If you go, hi, I want to get a free pass for a show, they're going to go, oh, okay, goodbye. They're not even going to talk to you. Show them why they want to hire you. done and done. Make sense?
Makes very
But the thing is, you have to get out there and you have to figure some of this shit out on your own. I didn't know how to get into concerts. So how did I get into concerts the first time? I called the venue because I'm like, well, it's happening at this venue. Maybe I need to call the venue. So I called the venue and they're like, oh, we're not really sure who you need to speak with, but why don't you try the producer of the show? Called them. They're like, you know what? You need to call Live Nation. At the time it was Electric Factory Entertainment. Called Electric Factory Entertainment. In 3 phone calls, I got to the guy in charge of it, and by the time I talked to him, I told him I was with a publication. He gave me a credential for the show, and that was the first show I ever shot. Because I made some phone calls. I did some research. I didn't try to rely on somebody else to tell me what to do.
Yeah, I go through Live Nation almost every time, and then they usually give me the band contact information, which then usually leads to a publicist, which then leads to an email to them, and then hopefully it all works out from there.
All right, thanks, Sly. Dylan Johnson, John Johnson. What do you
Slight J.
Why do you shoot, Fro? Not because you love photography, but something deeper than that. Everyone has a reason why they are a photographer, other than they love, photography. My reason for shooting is I love creating, and I don't shoot that much. I'm a very, very selective shooter, but when I do shoot, I just
What?
I'm hearing a quote in my head that I'm hearing Lil back from a video when I asked her if she fought. And she says, no, I never fought. But when I was right, I fought. So I was just like shooting. When I want to shoot, I shoot. I love creating. I love going out and capturing images and capturing moments. That's what drives me. This other stuff drives me as well. So that's why I go out and shoot. If it was just a job, yeah, of course, it's not going to be as fun. But I go out and shoot, and I love what I do. I go out and I create, and I try to take the best images every single time I go out, whether I'm getting paid or I'm not getting paid. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do the best job I can do. Jason Snow, Jon Snow's brother. No matter how many pics I take, I don't think any of them are ever. I don't think. Jason Snow. No matter how many pics I take, I don't think any of them are ever good enough. How can I get over this? Well, you can be more selective when you're shooting. I think that I ran into a problem when I was shooting the Flyers as a kid. I would shoot 8 rolls a game and come out with 5 pictures.
8 rolls, wow.
I was blowing through 8 rolls a game. 2 years later, shooting hockey, I was 2.5 rolls in a game and getting 25 to 30 keepers per roll. Because I slowed down. I didn't focus on just shooting willy-nilly everything that skated around the ice. I anticipated the moment and I waited to capture it. It's a lot different now with digital, but I just think, Jason, you need to slow down and you need to feel the image happening and capture it and not try to take 8 million shots and then not realize you're getting anything good. That's my opinion. You agree?
I totally agree. I mean, I was easily taking well over 400 pictures like every event that I shot in the beginning, and now I'm probably taking less than 100.
And it all comes with experience.
Yeah, I mean, obviously digital I can take a lot more, but...
Todd Uckel. In a world of a gazillion photographers, both amateur and professional alike, how do I make my work stand out? That's a question that every amateur wants to ask. You make your work stand out by doing fantastic freaking work.
Yeah.
That is how you make it stand out.
And doing it differently.
Well, it doesn't always need to be differently. It just
I'm just
means
saying
good.
That's how you really stand out.
Well, that's how you stand out. I mean, like I've said before, you could be the most off-the-wall person in the world and think that you're being unique and you may never get out there, but you put your work out. You enjoy it. You're happy with what you do. You stop looking for the recognition and admiration of your whoever's following your work. If you worry about the likes and the hearts and the shares and what everybody else is going to say about your work, then it doesn't matter. You're not doing yourself. Put out what you want to put out, and if people like it, they like it, and if they don't, they don't. Fuck them. Chase Jarvis just put out a post the other day about this type of thing. He's like, stop playing for the likes. He's like, if you want to shoot something, shoot it.
Yeah.
And put it out and stop worrying what everybody's going to think. And good work stands out. It's just that simple. When I'm going through 100 photos, the good photos just pop out at you. There is not a fine line between a great photo and a photo that's just a photo.
I mean, I always go under my first instinct when I see a great photo and I'm like, oh, that is one I'm going to showcase to the world and post on my Facebook or something like that. And that's the one that I don't even think twice about it.
And
Just
one day you'll
goes
put
up
it on
and
your own website.
One day I'll put it on my own Squarespace.
Daniel Briggs, what's your opinion on lead generating websites for photographers just starting out and trying to get their names out in the local market? I think that I don't know what a lead generating site is, but if I was to guess it, I would think they would give you freaking leads to prospective clients. I think that is one of the biggest wastes of money in the photography field. What are they going to do? I mean, somebody took a survey like Old World. They're going to give you a bunch of 3x5 cards with people's information and you're going to cold call them. That's a bunch of crap. I wouldn't waste money on leads. You can get jobs. I don't think there is a such thing as a company out there that's going to be like, oh, this is a prospective photo job. Here are these. Sell these. I'm going to sell you a lead for $5. No, don't do that, please. Todd Madsen, DSLRs have many controls. This can be intimidating. I read that one. That was the first question. Santos Page. I take candid pictures. See, I just have to slow down.
You do.
I take candid pictures of my kids in the park and then take them. If parents with their... Okay, maybe this is just poorly written because I don't think I misread it.
I should have like a sticker every time you read something right.
A star?
A star or something.
I take candid pictures of my kids in the park and then take them if parents with their kids. Okay, it's just written bad. I show it to them and refer them to my email address so I could send it to them. Should I hand a business card out? Ask permission for... Yes, you hand a business card out. Or you get their email address and you send them an email with your business information. That I whip out the phone today because a business card, these are good. Like these are good to give people because they're going to remember it and they have their information if they don't have their phone or something like that. But on top of this, if you get their information, like it's like a girl, you're at a bar. Either if she takes your number, you don't have a way of contacting her to at least try. If you take her number, you at least have a way to try. Or if you take an email, you have a way to contact somebody.
It's a good way to put it.
Right? Mm-hmm. So you make an effort. If you get their information, you're in control of contacting them. Then you'll be like, you know what? Why don't you give me your email address? I'm going to send you this photo of your kid, no charge. And that's a way in. So yeah, I would have a business card to hand them. Also, you get their information and they get something from you, and then they're going to get that photo.
And it takes 2 seconds to exchange information.
You falling asleep over there, buddy?
No.
Nick Montgomery, you're in a room of professionals who know you just do photography as a hobby. You charge for your work, but less than a pro, quote unquote. I fucking hate that. I.e. full-time. Shooter does. A pro photographer approaches you and claims that you steal away clients and messes up the market standard for prices. People will expect lower prices. How do you respond to this pro photographer, or if you tell them to fuck off? What do you say to yourself to keep yourself from getting demotivated? First off, I'm not going to walk up to somebody on a photo job and be like, "Oh, you amateurs are ruining the industry," because I was one of them at one day.
Because I still charge like it's 1985.
If you're worried that much that somebody is going to take the jobs from you, then you need to check yourself before you raggedy wreck yourself, because you're obviously not confident in the work that you do. If somebody is going to hire, if your work is better, that's all that matters sometimes.
That is all that
because
matters.
They're going to hire you. If you're going up against somebody, I say this all the time. If a client called me for a wedding and the first thing they asked is, "What is your price?" Well, I'm not going to answer that question. I ask, are you price shopping, or are you shopping for a photographer that's going to get the job done right? And if they say price shopping, I just move on. I don't even give them a price because they're just beating around the bush. I don't want to beat around the bush. I want to be in the bush.
They're pussy. They're pussyfooting, I was going to say. I happened to say it right when you said that.
You said it right. You're like, anyway, it's 2 in the bush and 1 by sea.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm saying here, so they come up to you and you can walk away, you can ignore them. If they're that insecure and they're that much of an asshole, I know it's hard to say don't worry about it, but I could never see going up to like Sutter standing there doing a shoot and being like, huh, "You're stealing our jobs, man.
Come on, bro.
You know, you're ruining the photo community." It's bullshit. Yeah, and there's a boys club, girls club, whatever, where people are in with each other, but you'll get in. Ignore them. Or just say, "Are you that scared of me?"
That's a good way to put it.
But it's not worth the confrontation.
It isn't.
Because they're that insecure already. They're just going to start to verbally abuse you and just be like, "Okay, thank you. I'll keep doing whatever I'll do. I'll figure it out. It's all good, thanks." Kill them with kindness. Be like, "Yo, you're right. Tell them that.
That
Like,
pisses
you know what?
anyone off
You're
way
right.
more.
I'm not charging enough, but I'm happy doing it. Mm-hmm. So fuck you, asshole. God, because I can, if I, you know me verbally. Whew.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Ben Klinchinsky, you say you have to be unique to be in the business today. I don't say that. You don't have to be unique to be in the business. You could be a doorknob and be in the business. I don't know what that means. Do something that makes you different from everyone else. What does being unique mean to you? Regardless of unique, your work needs to be good. That's my answer. I think is regardless of being unique, your work needs to be good. Be yourself. Don't be somebody who's fake. Frono's photo is just what. If I was bald, I think I still would have been able to make the site work. I just wouldn't have had Frono's photo as a thing. I think it certainly grabbed people, but all I will tell you is if I was just some moron with a whole lot of hair who didn't have a clue and couldn't back up the work that I did, then nobody would follow along and read and learn from it. It's that simple. Let the work speak for itself. There's an ongoing theme here through all of these questions is your work speaks for itself. Do quality work, you're going to be a leg up on most people. Liz Sauerbrunn, can you suggest some good photo contests for hobbyists to enter? Also, what's your favorite sushi roll? P.S. Show some local love and hold a mobile RAWtalk in Philly. I'm working on it. Sushi roll at the new place I've been eating because my other sushi place closed down.
It definitely closed down.
Well, yeah, their phone doesn't do shit now.
That sucks.
There's this new roll called the Sprunchy. Very, very
Scrunchy.
good. Yeah, it's spicy tuna with crunchies and avocado on top, and then in the middle they do it in a circle of 8 rolls. They put
A scrunchy.
no, they put more they put more crunchy shit, and then on top of it they put more raw tuna. Then they also have this like volcano-ish roll, which is yellowtail with spicy tuna on top. It's really tasty.
Sounds tasty.
First part of the question, good photo contests. I don't have an answer for that because I don't really think there's a such thing. Dave Chalstaz, as a new photographer, it can be really easy to go overboard in Lightroom. What tips would you give a hobbyist to know how much is too much when it comes to post-processing? If you think it's too much, if you have an inkling that it's too much, it's way too much. That's really what it comes down to. If you're looking at it and it looks fake, it's too much. Pull back.
Don't put your clarity up to 100% every single time.
Clarity rarely goes above
100
19.
export.
No,
100.
I'm just throwing it out there. That's what people really like
And
to do.
sharpening and over sharpening.
And over sharpening.
Jeffrey Dowell. How far in are we?
1 hour and 40 minutes.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up when it's time to wrap it up. Jeff Dowell, do you recommend paying Facebook for posts as a way of advertising since most people don't see your posts with their money-hungry algorithms? All right, so originally I wrote no here, but I also had a different idea. No, you should not boost your posts. I think boosting your posts is one of the dumbest things you can do. I've tested it out. I will get far more reach by just putting up a good post. I will reach more people for free than I will if I start paying for a post. Paying for a post, it says I'm going to send it. Basically what it says is it's going to show it to X amount of people for X amount of dollars, but it says friends that like your page and friends of their friends. So it's not targeting it to the right people. Here is where you can do targeted advertising and win. Forget money-hungry algorithms. Facebook closed at over $75 yesterday because they are making money. They do it right here. Find the area that you're in. Find groups that people are in the area. Find who's engaged. If they're engaged or they're newly engaged, target them with ads. Spend some money to target them with ads time and time again. Newly engaged, let's do a photo shoot. Come up with something and directly target them. Now, it's going to take some education and skill. You're going to have to read up on how to do this, targeting ads on Facebook to the right people. But if you spend $50 to target, even if you spend $1,000 to target and you got 3 jobs out of it, you're going to make 10 grand. Not an exact number. But if you spend $50 to get a client and you make $400, believe me, it was well worth it.
Now, I was going to say, does that also include like non-verified pages? You don't recommend boosting posts? Because obviously you get more reach.
I don't recommend boosting posts at all.
At all.
I just think it's a waste of money because you're not directly targeting somebody. But if you want to directly target your own people, you can target ads to your own fan base. You can just say, your fans.
Yeah.
Not fans. That's a separate ad.
Okay.
That's not a boosted post. I think
Okay.
boosted
I
posts
think
is
I'm-
stupid. That's
Yeah,
why I'm
I
saying
mixed them up.
It takes some learning. You got to read up. You have to study the ads here.
Oh, yeah.
but it's important. Chris Vasquez, as a hobbyist, I find it very difficult to purchase or acquire press box/photo pit tickets.
Tickets.
First off, you're not going to be able to buy this stuff. As a hobbyist, is there a method to achieve these passes without a professional background? Thanks, Fro. You're never going to be able to buy access to a press box. I've said it a million times, if you don't have an affiliation with somebody, you're not going to get access to something. You need an affiliation. Bubba Cade. I want to know what goes through your mind before you're about to capture an image and choosing the proper lenses to get the shot. Like the creative live child shoot. Is there a method you use? What goes through my mind, I'm picking a lens based off of the feel of what I'm going to shoot. If I know that I'm in a tight area, I'm going to start with a wider lens on. It's just a feel for it, and that's why we're going to do more of these shoots so that you can get a feel for why I changed this. And there were a few times during that child shoot, which you haven't seen, I got to let you watch that, where I was doing it, I'm like, all right, I want to use the 70-200, and then the kid did something. I'm like, I got the wrong lens on. I need to switch. And then I would make the switch. Elliot Cox, I feel like after watching countless hours of videos, being paid for a few gigs and practicing, that I don't have that look in my pictures. I don't have the money to invest in great glass, and I try to make sure all of my pictures are exposed correctly. I have no idea what I could be missing. Hours of videos versus shooting. Shoot. So, look, you will find it, Elliot. You will find it, but it's going to take a lot of time getting out there and shooting. Practice more. Keep practicing. Keep getting better. Keep experimenting. Don't do the same thing that you do every single shoot that you go out there. Try things that get you out of your comfort zone. Force yourself to use only one lens when you have it. Force yourself to only shoot at 24 millimeters if you have a 24 to a zoom lens. Practice finding different angles and changes. That's what you don't need the best gear in the world to make it. I've showed that on Creative Live using an 18-55 lens with a D3300. You can do it. It may not be the best results every single time, but you need to just keep shooting. Yes, you're practicing. Practice more.
And we've all been there too. I mean, I go back and look at some of my old images from years and years and years ago, and I just wonder, what was I thinking? Like, was this an image that I really thought was good? You'll get to that point where you're going to be like, wow, this is what I'm doing.
And you should start to see that quick too.
Yeah, very quick. So I mean, we've all been to that point.
Every
just keep going at it.
Well, I don't think you see it quick. Let me rephrase.
I think certain people definitely see it quick.
We'll see results, but I personally, again, I don't think I was.
Yeah, but that was also the film era.
I know, but then going 5 years, I mean, even in college, I don't think till a couple years after college, I felt truly, I mean, my work was good. I liked the stuff I was doing in college, and that was some of the best stuff that I've done, and it got better after, but it constantly evolves. But it still took 5-ish years to get to those points.
Yeah, I mean, but then you have people who, like Joey L., who was like 16 doing crazy, awesome work. Everyone's different.
Yep. But still shoot and practice.
Oh, definitely,
absolutely.
yeah.
Derek Arsenault. I live in a small community. The stutter comes out the more you try.
The stutter comes out?
No, a stutter. I live in a small community that has a quote-unquote photographer everywhere you look. I refused to work because I'm not confident I'm consistent enough yet, and don't believe I should consider taking a gig until I at least have a backup body. I shake my head looking at what others are charging for their products, services, and think to myself, yeah, big deal, I can do that. So what the heck am I supposed to do? I don't want to step on the other people's toes. Well, fuck the other people's toes either, since I have many friends doing photography as a sideline and such. Should I just start doing many free gigs until I get consistent results and consistent positive feedback? I'm still a newbie since I bought my first DSLR in February. I can certainly say all your videos have helped me. I'm glad my videos have helped me, but let's get you out of this bullshit mentality that you have in your head that you're going to step on somebody's toes. One, forget them. Forget you. Forget the other people. I don't care what the other people are doing. This is about you. Backup body? I went on how many weddings without a backup body?
I don't ever bring a backup body. I should, but I
should.
Really don't. Yeah.
And every once in a while, I'll throw a D610 in the bag just in case, because we have them now. I own one body myself. I've owned one body myself, and never have taken backups to certain things. I've traveled the world. I just went to Israel. I threw a D800 in the bag just in case, because I could. But I let my gear do big ass shoots. throw something in the bag, but I did big ass shoots without throwing something in the bag, so I can't sit there and tell you to do that. Don't worry about. Hold on. And if you say things like this, I shake my head looking at what others are charging for their products, services, and think to myself, yeah, big deal, I can do that. If that's your mentality, then fucking A, you're ready to go. Then prove it that you're the ready to go and you're the big deal. Grab the life by the balls horns and freaking do it.
Oh, hell yeah.
And you, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say I don't think the backup body is a necessity, but it's definitely one of those just-in-case things.
It's a fail-safe.
It is for sure a fail-safe. I mean, if you're doing a big shoot, and God forbid something happen, you want to have something.
Oh, and then there was somebody else
but you don't need it.
There was somebody else who responded to this question. By the way, this is one page.
Wow.
Response from a reader about the above question. This was Joe Catalano. Derek Arsenault, if you're worried about stepping on toes, doing free gigs will piss off your pro friends more than paid gigs. I'm reading this because I think there's something I want to hit on.
Okay.
I'm in the same boat and turned down gigs because they were too important for me to ruin. Well, that's bad. Too important for me to ruin? Yes. If you don't think you're confident enough, like you shouldn't drive a car. If you're scared to drive a car, you shouldn't do it. It wasn't important for me to ruin without backup equipment, second shooter, etc. A lot of people do it, but they are one failed memory card from what could actually result in a personal lawsuit above and beyond what you charge. If you fail to deliver a wedding photos and you don't have a contract and business liability insurance to protect against losses, I'd gladly sue you. And my answer to this was, first off, if you're hiring them, it would be your fault for hiring them without vetting them first. If somebody is going to hire you and they don't ask certain questions and they don't look at your work and believe in what you can do, then it's on them. This is a risky business to be in. When you hire somebody to do something, you're taking them at their word and at their work. And if they don't produce, then you're screwed and you got to figure out what to do at that point. But if you back up your work with the work that you do and people see that, that's why they hire you. There's no given. I can't tell you that I'm going to go. I am very confident that if I show up to your wedding, I'm going to get you the keepers that you're going to love. But I cannot guarantee you that shit won't go wrong.
I agree.
Oh, hell yeah.
How many more pages of this?
I don't know. But
About tree fitty.
How much time are we in?
150.
Oh, good. We're still on task here. This is not the longest
we're
one.
on
Vanessa Taylor. Hi, Fro. What advice or lessons learned would you give hobbyists for showcasing their work online? I mostly use Flickr, but I am wondering if you could comment on building an online portfolio. What have you found worked well and didn't moving to something like Squarespace, etc.? Thanks. Yes, absolutely. This is just I put this in here so I could say go to squarespace.com/Fro. I'm just complete honesty. Yes, online portfolio. Freaking, you need one. Flickr is fine for storing work, but when you want to show somebody your own work, I said it a million times. I'm not going to repeat it. Go to squarespace.com/Fro. They're going to give you a 14-day free trial. If you find that it works for you, please use it and use code FRO when you sign up and get a discount. And if it's not for you, no harm, no foul. At least you tried, and maybe there's something else better out there for you. And that is how you do a proper organic sales pitch.
Boom.
Jason Sackle. I'm a hobbyist who would like to occasionally make money from my photos, which is not a bad place to be, but not my entire living. How can I avoid pissing off the professional photographers in my area? I guess this is a question that a lot of people are worried about.
Yeah.
What is my answer on 3? Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Thank you,
F
Sutter.
them.
You can't worry about pissing off these other people, because if everybody worried about pissing off everybody else, nothing would get done. You grab balls by the life horns. You grab the horns by the balls. What, Sutter?
I mean, I can definitely
Grab balls by the horns?
Well, no, but I can get where they're coming from, because when I was first starting, I definitely had this, well, I don't want to price myself so low and I'm stealing people's jobs. Like, I had that go through my head, but then I did exactly what you said. I just did it, and you know what?
Somebody hiring somebody looking for a photographer is going to be able to tell the difference between the seasoned veteran and then a new kid starting out. And they need to know that if you're hiring somebody and your prices are low, to temper your expectations. That is the nature of the game. If you go on Craigslist to find a photographer and you want to pay them $100 to shoot your really nice wedding, you're going to get that type of result out of it, because you're not, whatever. You can't be afraid. You're going to learn. It's a learning experience. You price your shit wrong, you figure out how to get it right.
Very, very true.
Wong Tong Wang. I liked his name. I had to pick it.
You did it just for the name.
Well, and it's a good question, maybe. I don't remember the question, but Wong Tong Wang. I love photography, but I found that I rather like to shoot landscapes than people. Don't know. Is that right? I just wanted to say his name. What?
So what's your answer to the question? You got to at least answer it now.
So you like shooting landscapes. Shoot landscapes. No, and that's why I prefaced this whole thing with not trying to be a dick, but...
Is he asking how to make money from shooting landscapes?
No. What Wong Tong Wang says is, I love photography, but I found that I rather like to shoot landscapes than people. PPL, by the way. Don't know. Is that right? Wasn't
Shoot
really
'em.
much. Maybe
There's not really a question.
Maybe there's something lost in translation. But my answer, look, shoot what you love. That's about it.
Not all photography has to do with people in the image.
Right. Thank you, Wong Tong Wang.
What was his name?
Shut up. Sean Johnson. I know good lighting is key, but how much does having a full frame camera also help, especially portrait photography? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Rock. Why doesn't it matter? Because I could hand you a D2H in a studio, that's a 4 megapixel camera from 2003, and if you have proper lighting and you expose it properly and there's flash going off, you will never know the difference. It doesn't matter of being full frame or not. That's a DX camera from back in the day. It doesn't matter.
I just watched a comparison from a 70 and a 5D Mark III, 100% crop, and they look nearly identical.
Right.
No one's going to be pixel peeping like that.
There's pros and cons to both, but when you're in the studio, you're not going to, in a studio shoot, full frame and not, in any, whether it's full frame or not full frame, I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference between a dirty 300 at 100 ISO or a D4S at 100 ISO if I'm shooting outside during bright daylight. It's going to be very difficult with the same lens on there. I may be able to tell personally if I'm going to sit there and pixel peep, but most people won't. Frank Dixon. We just had a Johnson. We just had a Wang, Johnson, and Dixon. I didn't do that on purpose.
Is this an Austin Powers movie or something?
No, Goldfinger. Frank Dixon. I'd like to step into the semi-pro game at first. I love taking pictures of people and landscapes, but I just don't know how to say, hey, you like my stuff, why don't you hire me without sounding like a douche? Any ideas? Well, if you like my stuff, why don't you hire me?
That's pretty much all you got to say.
That's pretty much it. Can you just double check that one, Sutter? Yeah, you love to... Also, please get out of this mindset of the semi-pro game. It's just you're a photographer who likes to get paid to do your work, and you're not. See, the mentality of like, I'm looking to go pro, or I want to be a pro.
You don't get
all
like
that
a
stuff. It doesn't
degree or certificate.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you classify yourself as a pro or not. If you're a hobbyist, you're somebody. If you love photography and you like to get a little bit of money to further your photography buying habits, that's the thing. Or you just give your stuff away and you're just a photographer who loves shooting and giving your stuff away, and that's enough for you. So I love taking pictures of people and landscapes, but just don't know how to say, hey, you like my stuff, why don't you hire me? You just have to ask. Marcelo Albuquerque. So photography is a hobby, but when you start to understand it and make nice images so friends ask for favors, this is good, favors, and begin to get invited to, quote unquote, bring the camera when you're invited to an event, how to say no. Now this...
I run into that problem all the time.
Blah, blah, blah. I've shown up to events without my camera, and Adam has the same issue as well. And they're like, well, why didn't you bring your camera? I'm like, because I'm not here as your photographer. I'm not your personal photographer because you think I'm going to shoot for you for free. If it's a friend, if it's a family, I may show up and bring the camera and take a couple of pictures my way and be like, here's a gift for you. I'll do it as a gift because I'll give the gift of photography like that. But you just reiterate to them that, look, I don't tell you to bring your paintbrush because you paint houses
artist,
to my party. No, you paint rooms. I don't ask, or you're a plumber. I don't invite you to my party and say bring your tool belt and show your ass crack and fix my toilet. And fix my toilet at the party. That's a great analogy.
It is a good analogy, and I don't even bring my bag or my gear to my relative's house anymore. If they're for Thanksgiving or whatever it may be, Christmas, I don't. It's because every time I get asked that question, and I realize that I can't keep bringing my stuff and taking the family portraits every year, so I just stopped.
All right, this is a question that spans this whole thing. Kristen Valdez. I absolutely love photography. She also said LOL a lot, so my thing is like be confident when you're writing me questions. Putting an LOL at the end of every sentence is just it's showing nervousness, and it's showing I'm not calling her out as doing something. I'm just telling people if you're going to put LOL after everything, that just shows that you're not confident in what you're doing.
It's a good way to put it.
So Be confident in what you're doing. Just own it. Period. Kristen Valdez, I absolutely love photography. It has been a big passion of mine for 3 years. Been a passion of mine for years. 3 years ago, my grandfather passed away from pancreatic cancer and left all of his camera equipment to me. So now I have a Sony Alpha, and it really sucks, in my opinion. And I hate shooting, and I took out the AOLs because I'm not reading them. It's Sony Alpha, and it really sucks, in my opinion. I hate shooting in auto. Trying to find how to change my aperture and shutter speed is difficult with my camera. I have a hard time understanding all of the aperture, ISO, and shutter speed information. I've watched so many videos of yours so I can try to get it down. I have tried shooting in RAW. When I set my camera to RAW, my camera only allowed me to take X amount of photos, and then uploading them was a challenge into itself. I would love to make photography my career if I could just get my camera to work with me, or save up enough to get the Nikon I do desperately want. So I guess my question would be, how could I get my camera to capture beautiful photos that I need it to? Would you be opposed to making a how-to video about that type of photography I have? Next page. Thanks, Fro. So my straight up honest answer here is, it's not the camera, it's you. You need to learn the fundamentals of photography to then go ahead to use the tools that you have to capture great images. I guarantee you that if you had those fundamentals, that you could get great images with the camera that you have. The camera is not taking the pictures, you are taking the pictures. The camera is just a tool that you are controlling. So if you get in the mindset that you're in right now, that the camera is holding you back, the cameras can hold you back in the future when you already know what you're doing. But when you don't know what you're doing, you have to understand the fundamentals and basics first, and you need to work your way around it before you start thinking that a camera is going to make for a better picture. Did I answer that politically correct?
Yes, you did.
Okay. It's not the camera. Okay. 3 years in. Oh, and then this was where I was saying 3 years in, I was still in auto. So that's still fine. And the last question here, Calvin Edmondson. Should I move from Oregon, where there is nothing happening, to Philly? ? I have a job opportunity there that would buy me the D7100 I want. Plus, it's Philadelphia. Okay, Calvin. I personally don't believe in the statement that where there is nothing happening in any place. There is something happening everywhere. There are jobs to be had. What? Well, he said Oregon. Well, there's Portland, there's Seattle, there's places. There's photography everywhere. There are jobs everywhere. Unless you're living in the middle of nowhere, which is possible. But don't think that moving to Philly automatically is going to open up more opportunities. You make the opportunities. I could live in Oregon and still do photo jobs around the world. It's a little harder to travel to New York and a little harder to travel to those places, but you just need... look, if this is a great opportunity for you to move, then by all means take the opportunity. But don't expect that it's going to mean that there's more things happening here. This is that whole thing, like when you tour the country, when I tour the country with bands, you realize that everywhere you go is exactly the same. Within reason, every city, you've got your strip malls, you've got your chain restaurants, you've got your movie theaters, you got your car salespeople, you got just about everything that's going to be the same no matter where you go. That's just one thing that you get when you travel the States. You realize that it's the same everywhere, within reason.
It really is.
So I love when people are like, I got to get out of Kansas. There's nothing to do here. It's like, well, I live in Philadelphia. Sometimes I have nothing that I want to do. I may be closer to things, but I'm still the one that needs to motivate myself to get out and do it.
I mean, obviously, if this was like an acting show, LA or New York would be something to maybe move to. But photography, I think, is a different thing when it comes to where you live.
That is correct.
And again, unless you live in the middle of nowhere.
So there were 350 questions, which means there were probably another 330. No, maybe 315. I answered a lot.
You did, but they were also long questions.
They were.
Too.
I picked. So what do you think? Because I know that you talked to me about repeating questions that I've done in the past.
There were a couple, but I expected that going into this. So I think that some of them were very interesting questions. I think some of them were questions I expected from it being a hobbyist show, or, you know,
more focused towards those, because not everybody I mean, but the funny thing is, as much as people say not everybody wants to be a pro and make money at photography, everybody wants to make money at photography.
But there are some people that love their full-time gig, but they also just are passionate about photography and like to do it on the side.
And that there's nothing wrong
and
with
make some money while you're at it.
That is a great place to be. You love this, but your hobby is photography. But like I said, if you want to further your gear, you like photography, and you want to get other stuff, it's okay to say, throw me a couple bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to be a pro, quote unquote. There's no such thing as being a pro or not being a pro. It's just a label. And if you're labeling yourself a pro and you're a wannabe, you don't need to do that. Be who you are. I'm a photographer. Don't have to spend, like, I made the mistake by putting professional photographer on my card because I thought that would make me look more professional because it said the word professional. I just needed to be more confident. I'm a photographer. Professional or not, it doesn't matter. Let my work speak for itself. So, whether you're a hobbyist or somebody that enjoys doing it, whether you like making money at it, there's always something here that you can do. And this was for you guys, which I think is a large portion of the people listening that may be afraid to ask these questions from time to time. But I wanted to make sure I answered them to the fullest extent to give you guys as much information as I could. And
yeah, I mean, honestly, to sum most of those questions up, at least the answer that you gave, and I think which was the proper answer, is to own it and be confident. I mean, I think it comes down to confidence for a lot of these questions, whether it be money or their work or
getting in front of a camera or asking people questions. That's what it comes down to.
I think a lot of people, that's where the fine line is between being a semi-professional or a hobbyist to a professional. I think that's what they think is, I'm not as confident as I should be in this line of work.
Right. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sutter, thank you.
Absolutely.
San Francisco RAWtalk, please email me. Jared at froknowsphoto.com. Make sure the subject line is Raw San Fran. Let me know how many people you'll be bringing, and when I know exactly where we'll be going, I will let you know, hopefully as soon as possible. But that's August 15th, Friday is most likely what we're going to do.
Cool.
Don't forget about plastic printers. Go to info.plasticprinters.com/fro. They made me these bag tags. That they are going to give you for free. They'll give you a bag tag, and they'll give you a See the World keychain. Well, it's not See the World keychain, but a See the World card here. They're giving it to you for free. If you're in the United States, they will ship it to you. I don't have to do anything. I got these cards for me. I also wanted to get them for you because they're actually useful devices. Put your email, you have to put your address in there because they're going to mail this to you. The guy promised me that they will contact you to give you more information because maybe a discount on using their service. If you want to use it, thank you. You don't want to use it, cool, but they're not going to hard sell you, and I don't think they're even asking for a phone number to call you on a phone. So just say thank you to them, and the only thank you that there is just check it out. If you like it, you like it, and you don't, you don't. I am not a hard seller. I make it as simple as possible, and don't forget squarespace.com/fro. You better go sign up. I'm just kidding. That's a hard sell.
Sign up or else.
Yeah, sign up or else I'm going to come over to your house, and people will be like, okay. Don't sign up because he's going to come over to my house if I don't sign up. So thank you to all the people on the Wheel of Fro. I want to thank Atomos, as always, because we use the Atomos right up there. Thank Rode Microphone for all their cool stuff and the stuff that we're doing. We're trying to build the mobile stuff up and get more places around the world. Thank you for the IXY. Steven's going to test that out himself. Just take it to you have a show tomorrow at the radio station?
I do, yeah.
Just put it on.
I'm just going to keep it in my bag for now.
Yeah, and just play around to test it out, and then you can do a review. When you come full-time, maybe we'll do more reviews.
Very nice.
Maybe you'll get your own segment.
Maybe
with
I
your
will.
own sponsors. And stuff like that. All right, good stuff. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Don't forget you can go to froknowsphoto.com/RAWtalk-96 to get all the photo stories, photo news stories, and more. And that is it. I'm going to stop because my voice is going. Jared Polin, froknowsphoto.com. See ya.